Hi and everybody. Hi to everybody. Thank you and welcome and thank you for tuning in here on Monday Night Madness here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV, and we're here to bring you all tonight's racing action here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, here at the Williams Grove Speedway. About 15 minutes up the road from my house. I live in Gettysburg. Always of going up here and checking out the racing action. It can turn into a little bit of a one-lane track here. You're going to see people throw sliders, if they get a run to try to take that lane away, and you're going to see people having to hit the brakes, lift out, and try to cross over. It's really going to test people here tonight. But your first race, it's going to be the 358 Modifieds. These are open setups. We're going to go 30 laps. Second race tonight, we're going to be in the Rebels Sprint Car Division. That's kind of like our Xfinity Series for sprint cars. They're going to go 30 laps here at Williams Grove, and then we'll end the night with the Renegade Series. That's kind of compared to the NASCAR boys, the big boys. There a lot of big names in that series. They're going to go 35 laps here tonight to cap off the evening, but should have a little bit of time to kill. Kickoff won't be till around 9 o'clock. Let me give you a rundown of the points here. Right now, your current point leader is Samuel Bachman, followed by Anthony Morano, Patrick Spengler, Trent Verstraeten, and rounding out the top 5 is Dean Reynolds. That's all could change a little bit. We do this thing called drop. We have a drop week. So some of those guys that I mentioned, they've only raced 5 out of the 6 races so far. So as long as they make it to the rest of the events here, they should be able to take that no-show and use it as a drop week and maybe contend here for the points a little bit. And, they're not out of it. I mean, even guys that have run 4, Randy Shoes is a really good driver. He's as high up as 13th in points, Some guys have some bad luck. You just keep showing up. You never know what could happen. You sling off a win here and there. But Williams Grove's definitely a good track for an outsider to get a win, I would say. Pretty much anything can happen. If you qualify good, you want to stay up front. That's the thing here. Really, really hard to pass. So you're going to see guys wanting to qualify towards the front and stay there. Make sure, you're battling for first at the end of Heat 1. That's life or death there, depending on how many guys we have here. That's 3 or 4 different starting spots. So you're going to see guys fight really hard for the win here in heat races. Is a testament to how hard it is to pass here. Let's go on board a little bit. Let me let's take a lap over here. Right now we're riding around with Dylan Kinsey. Here, gets out of the gas early, gets back into it maybe a little earlier than he wanted to. Might have needed help to help the car turn. It might have tightened up on him. You're going to hear guys, if they run the bottom, they're going to really pipe the car down. You're going to want it to be real quiet. Straight is fast here along the bottom. He's getting as close to that wall as he can going on the backstretch. Hopefully we don't see it, but I imagine we're going to see guys bite that opening tonight. I'm guessing, take them a lot to update it, but the famous bridge there, that is now gone that Dylan just went under. I'm a local to here, and they got rid of it over the winter. The famous bridge is gone. They have plans to supposedly bring something new there as a new attraction, but the famous bridge is gone. It's going to a local museum, so I'm not too sure what they're going to do with it. The museum that it went to has an old dirt track that, I guess they used to race on in the 50s as like part of the museum, so I imagine they'll add it to that. Definitely going to miss walking across that bridge at Williams Grove. You get a lot of cool pictures up there, and definitely was real exciting for little kids. It was one thing I look forward to as a little kid. So hoping they bring something back real soon. there's a better view of the bridge. Dylan here. I think he's getting a run on. Let's see. Yeah, that's Trent. Maybe they'll start battling soon. Why does he catches and he pulls off? I don't blame him. Can't show your hand. Let's ride with Bob the Good for a little bit. Big shout out though once again to Williams Speedway for sponsoring Monday Night Madness. Never been to Canada, but I've watched plenty of their racing on GeForce on YouTube. That's another great channel. You subscribe to that after you subscribe to C2CRL. But it's a wonderful dirt track up in Canada, and you know the guy who owns the track really does wonders for local drivers up there. I mean, you see him sponsoring cars all over. I've got, you've heard me stutter a little bit. I've got the high limit race on right now on the big TV beside me, so I promise I won't watch that too much, but have a lot of local guys. So, you know, Brent Mark's in second. But anyways, back to originally what I was saying. Yeah, Williams Speedway sponsors so many different sprint cars. You see, they just really, he distributes his money to other drivers, really, you know, helps open the door for other people. So we really appreciate them for, you know, helping us out and helping us bring this broadcast. It's really cool what they do for a lot of the local drivers up there. Well, you know, not even really local. I mean, just big sprint car driving names in general. They're willing to invest if you know, they think you have the talent. And that's the way it should be. So Gavin, Chatham, and Trent were straight and getting a little racy. Let's go on board with Gavin here. If I can click the right name. Because Trent pulled off. That was what so I didn't see two cars battling anymore. So we'll just go back to watch him driving around. Gavin's always pretty fast. It is 7 o'clock here, so I imagine any minute here they'll be going to qualifying. So right as I say that, I believe in the top it's saying finish up there. So seeing the checkered flag. Yep, I will be rolling over to qualifying here. Let's whoever pulls off first will get the honors here. Let's see what my timing says. Dylan Kinsey's gonna pull off first. So let's ride along with him for the first lap. Okay, never mind. He's just going to get in this car and sit there. Let's go with Jeff Barker. He was second, I believe. Jeff Barker, he's another one. You know, no slight at him. Obviously, I'm up here in the booth. I'm not out there driving. I'm way better than me. But Jeff has improved so much. He's a guy who, you know, is kind of just contending back of the top 10. And now he's a guy who he's been winning heat races this year pretty consistently. He's very fast, and he knows how to get around, and he uses patience to do it. So he's not a guy who pounds you out of the way. He's real quick, and he does it very respectfully. Let's see what kind of time he puts in here his first time around. He's gonna move to the top spot with a 21:06. Let's take a look at Isaac Salas. He just pulling out of the pit. Let's go to Samuel Bachman. He had the fastest. He's on pole right now with a 20.59. He actually just got kicked off by Gavin Chatham. So we'll watch Samuel's second lap here, see if he can improve. And then we'll drop back to Gavin. Did not improve. He's going to stay where he was. Or he did improve, actually. 20.58. Improved by a 100th of a second. Not enough to improve his position. Gavin Chatham was a 10th slower that lap. Let's find Isaac Salas. Isaac Salas, first time by, not going to be what he wanted. he definitely expects to be faster than that with a 20.88. Going to put him in currently right now 11th place as Connor Ross just passes him, moves up to 9th with a 20.88. And that's going to be the end of caution. Laps take a while here, so you know, maybe Isaac pulled out of the pits a little late. Maybe I had to reset. I've had to reset a couple times, but things happen, and you know, wasn't able to get that second lap in, I don't believe, here. Let's go ahead and read you off the starting grid here for the 358 Opens. Brought to you, Heat Race 1, brought to you by Flatline Racing Body. Quality racing bodies produced by former NASCAR Regional Short Track Champion Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Starting on the pole is going to be Jake Henry in the 171. On the outside of him, the 397 of Alex Pomerleau. On the inside of row number 2, Dylan Kinsey in the 083. On the outside, Kelly Wheeler in the 110. Rounding out the field in row number 3 is going to be Brandon Dittmer in the 83 and Greg Boydell in the 014. Let's go ahead and should be a pretty good heat race here. Definitely, like I said, going to be hard to pass. So you're going to see guys, if somebody gets out of the racing line, you're going to see guys have to be aggressive. Just have to go for it. That's kind of the nature of the beast. So we'll see. Here's the pace car is off.
Green, green, green.
Jake Henry with a really good start, able to clear Alex Pomerleau. Alex Pomerleau, meanwhile, is Dylan Kinsey below him right now. Dylan Kinsey's going to try to float up to force the issue, but Alex Pomerleau is going to say car high, and he's going to stay there for right now. Let's go on the blimp camera here. Check this out. Dylan Kinsey still trying to make it work on the bottom. Definitely not the preferred line right now as he's getting freight trained on the outside. Going to fall back to 4th is Kelly Wheeler looking on the outside. Really going to want to try to stay in 4th as that is everybody's going to make the show tonight, but that's normally our final transfer spot. But looking like he might fall back to 5th. But meanwhile, we have a battle for the lead. There's the slider I was talking about. Jake Henry, big slider coming out of 4, and he is going to lead lap number 3. Or lead lap number 2 as we're on lap number 3. Alex Pomerleau, though, he's right there. That may have messed that up unless I was looking over at the thing. That may have been Alex with the slider. If it was, sorry, but what an amazing slider. Now he's in the preferred line. He's looking to walk away. 5th lap of the race last time by for Alex Pomerleau, 20.7. Go back here to the battle for second. There's Kelly Wheeler all over the back end of Jake Henry, trying to look low, coming out of 4th. Not able to have the nose there as he's going to get pinched down by Jake Henry. It's really going to hurt both of them, and it's really going to help Dylan because neither of them ran the preferred line as Jake got defensive and Kelly's trying to, you know, make the move. But meanwhile, Dylan Kinsey, wow, come out of nowhere. He's going to take over 3rd place here as we're on the final lap. Alex Pomerleau with no real heat behind him. As long as he doesn't mess up, the race should be his. But Jake Henry has Dylan Kinsey all over the back of him. One mistake. Dylan Kinsey tries to look low. Let's go up top. No, he's just going to fall back in line. That's how we're going to finish. Alex Pomerleau, Jake Henry, Dylan Kinsey, and Kelly Wheeler, your top 4. Go read out here. Heat race number 2 brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Full Throttle Motorsports, not just your average iRacing team. Full Throttle Motorsports has members that range from 18 to 57 years old from Minnesota to New York. Full Throttle Motorsports prides itself on clean and competitive racing and also hosts very successful 358 and Big Block League events using setups from Gunnar Swanshara and Swan Speed Shop. It's Full Throttle Motorsports to the front. Let's go ahead and read off your starting grid here. Isaac Salas is going to be your pole sitter in the number 5. Outside of him, Matt Schaefer in the 833. Inside of row number 2, Logan Wentz in the 118. On the outside of him, in the 99, Gavin Chatham. Rounding out the field, the inside of row number 3, Trent Verstraeten. And on the outside, Bob DeGood in the 07. Let's go ahead and bring this up here. Whoops, sorry. Was
Green, green,
clicking the
green.
wrong button. I was talking to myself there as Isaac Salas leads us up to the green flag. 3 wide, though, as Matt Schaefer looked like made contact with the walls. That's really going to hurt him, dropping the whole way back to 6th place. Isaac Salas couldn't have loved that more. He was able to just get up top after the contact there with Matt and just clear him. But Gavin Chatham really wanting 2nd place there as he's up 2 spots already from the start of the race, up from 4th to 2nd. Overdrove the entry of turn 1 a little bit as Logan Wentz is really able to get up on him in the middle of the corner. As you see the gap going down the backstretch and into turn 3, Logan is all over Gavin. But Gavin makes up a lot of time on Isaac in the middle of the corner as they're both look like they're maybe a little quicker than Isaac right now. As we saw, Isaac did struggle in qualifying. Maybe not the setup he's accustomed to. He's, used to being a little more comfortable. It doesn't look like he's got everything he wants in the car tonight. Trent Verstraeten in 4th. No real pressure from behind from Bob DeGood. Not really putting any pressure on the guys in front of him. He's really wanting them to get racy up here. As Logan Wentz gets the message, tries to look high, realizes it's probably a better idea to back out of a little bit. You don't want to hit that opening in the wall. As he makes contact though with Gavin, says, "Hey man, I'm here. You want to do that. Maybe next time I won't lift." And like I said, out of nowhere, the 88 Trent Verstraeten really wanted those guys to get racy, and that's what he needed. Is Isaac Salas now. He just needs to stay smooth, and he should be okay. Take a look at the lap times this time by as we have 1 to go. Gavin Chatham was your fastest car and ran the fastest lap of the race at a 20.67. He definitely looks like he has been fast. Just has maybe been held up by Isaac a little bit, but Isaac goes defensive in turn 4. As you know, this is the last lap. That's what you got to do, and he's going to be heat race winning number 2, followed by Gavin Chatham, Logan Wentz, Trent Verstraeten, Bob DeGood, and Matt Schaefer. Take a look here. Heat race number 3 brought to you by Top Notch Trucking. Top Notch Trucking is from Glen Ridge Motorsports Park, your Sunday night home for the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds. Also showcasing Dirt Car Sportsman, Dirt Car Pro Stocks, and the new for 2024, the Rush Late models. The Dirt Car 358 series will make a visit to the Ridge once again in 2024. Last year, 47 358 Modifieds filled the pits with the likes of Stuart Friesen, Matt Williamson, Mike Mahaney, Billy Dunn, Felix Waugh, Lance Willix, and so many others. You can visit GlenRidgeEMP.com or their Facebook. Let's take a look at the starting grid here. Jason Butterfield's going to start on the pole on the outside of him. Connor Ross on the 35. Behind him in the 3rd place position, Anthony Morano in the 32. On the outside of him, the 107 is Samuel Bachman. Rounding out the field is the 513 of Jeff Barker, and on the outside of him, the 012 of Bob Curtis here. So the pace car is off. Getting ready to come down to the green flag. 6 laps here.
Green, green, green.
Connor Ross also with a rough start. Maybe just tail slapped the fence a little bit. Not as bad as we saw from Matt last time. Maybe he'll be able to get a run here and keep 2nd, but it doesn't look like it as Anthony Morano gets a good run coming out of 2. He's going to look to try to take it away. Maybe not. Anthony's a very clean driver. He's going to keep it down there, and I think, that may hurt him in the long run. It's going to help your reputation as a clean driver, but it may have just cost him 2 spots. And Anthony's normally really fast in these, but as I say that, he makes a line work in turn 1 and 2 that we've seen use so far tonight. He's really shutting it down, and he's getting speed, but just doesn't look like he has that exit speed off 3 like he does in turns 1 and 2. Let's watch here. Able to really make up time on Connor. He is fast in 1 and 2, but just take a look. It's just not as much there on the exit. You see it's shining, and you can hear the tires spinning. He can't get back into it like he can in turn 1 and 2, and it's really costing him time. As you see on the exit here, it's all wet looking. It's all packed. He can really get into it on the exit. we say here, right there, you start to see it looks a little shiny. You don't get the throttle control. He just does not have that exit speed here as we're 2 to go. Connor Ross looking down low. He knows that it was working in turns 1 and 2, but that may have opened the door for our man in the 32, Anthony Morano. Now he's looking down low. Not able to get any speed here as we're going to get the white flag. Jason Butterfield, barring any unforeseen problems, is going to win heat race number 3. The battle right now is for 2nd and 3rd. Connor Ross really shutting it down, going down to protect. And that's going to hurt him as Samuel Bachman's going to get 2nd at the line. Jason Butterfield, your winner, followed by Samuel Bachman in the 107, Connor Ross in the 35, and Anthony Morano in 4th. All right, we're going to take a little break here, go to warm-up, but we'll be back here in, as you can see, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Alrighty, we're back here, and warm-up's got about another 30 seconds for the drivers to beat up the track a little bit. Right now, your top position in warm-ups is Gavin Chatham with a lap of 20.64, followed by Anthony Morano with a 20.65, so almost identical. A little bit of a gap back to 3rd place at a 20.72 with Logan Wentz, but everybody fairly close, and I think we're going to see a real good race. Some guys like Jason Butterfield, Isaac Salas, Brandon Dittmer, they haven't taken time. They don't want to show their hand. They know they're quick. So I expect things to be a little different than the warm-up chart, although I wouldn't be surprised if Gavin wins tonight. He's very fast and is always a good driver here as they're finished. But let's go ahead and take a look at the RSN trackside starting lineup here. Starting on the pole is Alex Pomerleau in the 397, followed by Isaac Salas, on the outside of him, Isaac Salas in the 5. Inside of row number 2, the 93 of Jason Butterfield on the outside, Jake Henry in the 171. Inside of row number 3, the 99 of Gavin Chatham. On the outside of him, the 107 of Samuel Bachman. On the inside of row number 4, the 083 of Dylan Kinsey. On the outside of him, the 118 of Logan Wentz. Starting inside of row number 5, the 35 of Daddy's Money, Connor Ross. On the outside of him, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Inside of row number 6, the 088 of Trent Verstraeten. On the outside of him, Anthony Morano in the 32. Inside of row number 7, the 83 of Brandon Dittmer. On the outside, the number 7 of Bob the Good. Inside of row number 8, 513 of Jeff Barker. Outside, 014 of Grant Waddell. Rounding out the field in row number 9, you have the 833 of Matt Schaefer and the 012 of Bob Curtis. So, gonna have 2 laps here. Driver's should get 2 pace laps. Think about what the plan is gonna be. Alex Pomerleau is definitely gonna hope for a real good start and hope Isaac has a bad one to maybe get some clearance. We've seen some guys dedicate to the bottom. Anthony Morano, and you saw it didn't really work out for him. Lost 2 spots and was able to put some pressure on in 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4 just didn't really have it. So I imagine you're going to see guys run the bottom later, maybe with 10, 12 to go, as you know, you don't have as much rear tire left and you lose a little bit of grip up top. And got to remember these things are 358, so they aren't the big blocks, you know, not as much power. So you really want to keep the motor wound up. And if you're going to go up top and really have to let out because of how slick the track's getting, you know, it may be faster just to let out and go around the shortest way here. Williams Grove is definitely one of those different tracks that not your typical, you know, racing line. It will move, and like I say, we're going to see some sliders, and we're going to see things people have to adjust to other people. But if you're watching out there, let us know who you think's going to win in the chat box. Hopefully Marty is feeling better. He was sick tonight. I forgot to mention that. That's why I'm here. So Marty, if you're watching, let us know who you think's going to win, and man, I hope you're feeling better. But it's coming out to the Lucy Olson green flag here. Alex Pomerleau in the 397. Going to look to kick him off here.
Green flag.
Green flag's out. You can hear somebody tap the wall ever so slightly, but didn't look like there's any big problems as Gavin Chatham looks like gets turned.
The yellow flag is out.
And we do have a caution in turn 1. Kind of expected at Williams Grove. I hate to say it, but until you get used to the guy in front of you and their lift points, you're going to see that happen. I mean, guys run different lines, but let's take a look here. I've got it in slow-mo right now. Let's watch the 99 of Gavin Chatham. I think he's going to get some help from behind. Yeah, Brandon Dittmer just comes in a little hot. Gets in the back of him. Let's go ahead and let's ride on board with Dittmer here. You know, like I say, this is going to be expected. Oh, no, that wasn't. What was that? Sorry to blame you, Dittmer. Let's go back and look at this one more time. Oh, the 83, that's Dylan Kinsey. Well, Brandon, I owe you one because it wasn't. Looks like it was Dylan Kinsey here that just came in a little hot. Yeah, just a little love tap, but when, you know, you're already sideways and off the gas, it doesn't take much for these things to lose control, as we see. Not sure if we'll go to a single file restart here, or maybe since that was the first lap, I think it might still be double file. They might, you know, basically consider it almost like a complete race restart here, but we'll find out together. I didn't pick who I thought was gonna win, though. That's something normally Marty and I do, and you know, I don't want to jinx him. He's my friend in here for sure. We're not teammates, but he's definitely a guy who he's younger than me, but I look up to him racing. He's very fast, and he's always got a good attitude. I think Isaac Salas probably will bring this home tonight. I think we'll be able to find a way around the 397, but looks like we are going to go single file here. The lights are off on the pace car, so coming around this time, we're going to go green. We'll go over in the Chapman Racing drone here. So the pace car is off. Man, that pit road entrance, when it rains here in real life, it gets so swampy. Right there. I hate pit road entrance. But Alex Pomerleau's off, gets real good fire, able to use it to see gap Isaac by 2 or 3 car lengths. Isaac does the same back to third, so he doesn't really have any heat behind him. Going to be able to see if he can go to work on Alex here.
The yellow flag
Seeing
is
a
out.
Trent Verstraeten crash Ouch. Let's go back and take a look at this here. Just hit the inside wall and bounced up. Luckily, nobody else involved. So just a single car spin. We'll take a look at it one more time. We'll watch it from the aerial cam. You see you just here on the exit, just trying to get as low as he can, trying to really diamond it off. Just clips the wall. Luckily, everybody behind him able to avoid him, and single car spin, and we'll be going back racing here. Malcolm Mills bringing us the replays tonight. I say it every week, and I mean, who am I kidding? I'm probably never going to figure it out. I don't know why that thing says Weed Sport. I'm telling you, I change it every week. Right now on my screen, it says Williams Grove. I don't know how to get it to change, but bear with me because it is not a Weed Sport here tonight, as you can see right there. Beer Hill going into turn 3. That's a pretty famous turn here at Williams Grove. The pace car is off. So Alex Pomerleau is looking to get another good jump here again.
Green, green,
Isaac's going to do a little better this time. Not as big of a gap. Let's go back here and keep an eye on the battle up front. Let's go back here and take a look at some of this racing for the top 10 here. We'll go with Jeff Barkley rounding out 10th. Is there 3 wide ahead of him for 7th place? Anthony Morano in the bottom of that sandwich. Really going to throw it off into turn 1. He knows he can run the bottom down there. I'm anxious to see what he does here in 3 and 4. Yeah, he's going to go back up top. He knew that killed him in the heat race. Anthony's really making up some time. Meanwhile, last time around, not this time though, but Isaac did have the fastest lap of the race the previous lap. It looks like Alex able to eat all that up. Is 2/10 faster this time, but the fastest man on the track was this guy in 4th place in the 171 of Jake Henry. Ran at 20.93. Fastest lap of the race is we have somebody spinning around there in the middle of turn 3 and 4. Let's take a look at this. See Kelly Wheeler, I think is. Let's take a look here. Kelly Wheeler in the 110. He's going to be in the red and black car. Just going to go in next to Bob the Good, but somebody's home. He tried to throw the slider in. You know, that's one of them. Bob doesn't have to lift, and that's what can happen. Kelly sees that, and if you're not clear, you know, that's what it is. It's one thing if you park it and the guy rear engine the behind, but when you try to throw that slider and you're not clear, that can be what happens. Let's go back up here. Let's watch this one more time. Let's just see how close he was to being clear. Let's watch this one. Yep, just not there. Not there. Bob the Good. Let's see if he maybe how much of this he saw. Well, let's go on board with him here. Yeah, he sees him down there. Sees him down there. You know, you think he's going to be there, but getting the wall a little bit. Maybe made Kelly think he was clear. As you heard the ding, Bob just barely tapped the wall, but it wasn't enough to mess anything up. So, you know, Bob held his ground, and more power to him. But it's one of those lucky your left front isn't gone, as you know, those short sliders can ruin not only your race, but the guy getting it thrown on. And lucky Bob survived. He raced another day on that one. We still got a lot of racing left, only a fifth of the way through here, so I'm sure the boys are being told to settle down. Let's figure this out. But sometimes, you know, like I say, it is my local track, and I do love Williams Grove, but sometimes it can turn into a long night here on the iRacing sim with all the different lines and people lifting early. But see what Alex Pomerleau can do here on this restart. We'll go back to the Chapman Racing drone here again. See if he can get a good gap on Isaac.
Green flag, green flag.
Pretty good start there, but man, you know, Jason Butterfield has been really fast once we get going racing, but these starts have been killing him. Isaac has been able to gap him in third, and you know, Isaac's getting gapped a little bit. So when Jason loses all that ground to Isaac, he's really costing himself, you know, at least 4 laps to catch the leader, you know, unless Alex makes a mistake. So he's got to look to really improve those restarts. But let's take a look here. We got Bob DeGood back here in 8th place right now, the biggest mover. He's up 6 spots. So he's survived that slider earlier. Not really any pressure in anybody in front of him. Got a little pressure from behind.
Flag is out.
And Jeff Barker, as we see, we have another caution. Must have been towards the back of the field there. As we were riding with the guys in 10th and didn't see anything. So let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm seeing Gavin Chatham. Oh, looked like Kelly Wheeler maybe clipped the outside wall and got into Gavin. Let's go back and let's rewind this. Let's get on Kelly Wheeler's car here. Let's go on board Kelly Wheeler. So he gets a big run. Oh, Gavin kind of shuts the door, and Kelly had a big run. Definitely, you know, wasn't anything intentional but that tore up 2 race cars, I'm sure. Kelly's car does not look to be turning the straightest. That wall does not like tires. It's got a good habit of bending tie rods and whatnot, so you do not want to get the backstretch wall doing, you know, 80, 90 mile an hour. That's going to cause some damage. But I don't think that was anything intentional from Gavin. Just, you know, maybe it was a little squirrely after get loose, but definitely shut the door on Kelly, who had a full head of steam. And in these things, it's not like your road car going out and hitting the brakes. If you want to compare it to your road car going out there and hitting the brakes, go slam on the brakes after you get 4 or 5 inches of snow. And you get a little bit of a comparison. When you get on the brakes in these things, nothing you can really do. They jerk to the either right or left, so you have to guess on which way to counter steer. And when you're on the, you know, if you have a wreck in front of you, 7 out of 10 times you're not going to be on the brakes. You need a little bit of gas even to help these things turn. So tough. Nothing you can really do when a guy in front of you is coming up all those lanes, and Kelly definitely won't be the man to blame for that one here, as we're set for, I think, restart number 4 or 5 here. Hopefully they settle down as Alex Pomerleau looks to get a good jump here on Isaac Salas coming out of 4. They're off.
Green flag, green flag.
Much better restart from Jason Butterfield this time, able to stay on Isaac Salas and pressure Isaac this time for second. Not really going to let him breathe and try to run down the man out front, Alex Pomerleau, who right now with all the cautions hasn't really even had a chance to be tested. Let's go back to 10th place. Brandon Dittmer getting in the wall coming out of 4. Oh, slider! Brandon may have gotten a little bit of help sliding up there. It looked like maybe, I can't tell who that was who threw that short slider, but maybe Matt Schaefer it looks like, but boy, that could have been bad. But we do have a batter change for second. Jason Butterfield able to get by Isaac. He has been one of the quickest guys on track. That battle really extended the gap. I'm anxious to see here if he had it at the line or if he'll have to give it back to Isaac, but we'll have to find out. Let's take a look at what this caution is. Matt Schaefer, what I'm hearing? Let's take a look here. Matt Schaefer in the 813. Saw contact a couple laps ago. Oh, just tried to maybe diamond off the corner, and somebody was there. Oh, and he's going to roll. Oh, and he can't get on all 4s, so he's going to have to teleport to the pits. We do have a long cautions here, so he may get a chance to come back out. Let's take a look here in the blimp cam. Let's see. Maybe he came down on him or an aggressive pass. No, definitely. He just tried to diamond off. Didn't know car low, and that can happen. But see, he paid for his mistake there. So we'll have to see if he can get back out and manage to stay on the lead lap. Looks like, though, Alex Pomerleau, still your man out front, but Jason Butterfield was able to keep second. And don't mind, it says Brandon Dittmer is in first place, but that's just a scoring error. That's going to refresh here whenever they get green. Sometimes SDK doesn't always want to behave itself, but we're a third of the way through. Haven't really gotten a lot of green flag laps in, but you see Jason was able to take advantage of the few that we did get in, really able to put the pressure on Isaac Salas and get by him, and now we'll have to see if he can go to work on your leader, Alex Pomerleau. We're going to be a third of the way through the race here. Pace car should be diving in. It does. We'll be going green this time out of 4. Alex Pomerleau has led from the start of the race here. Able to get a big jump on Jason Butterfield. Man who we have on in the lens right now. But Alex Pomerleau tightens up in the middle of 1 and 2. But Anthony Morano, where did he come from? Big run on the bottom coming out of 1 and 2. And he's going to be looking for third place at the line. Not going to be able to get it. It is going to be up to 4th place. Jason Butterfield, meanwhile, trying to look at the leader here. Alex Pomerleau not having much luck. Alex Pomerleau just keeping the car as straight as he can. Really having a lot of exit speed. Has been the fastest guy on track the last couple times around. But now, looks like the car may be coming to the man in the 5 a little bit. He's starting to get a little bit faster. He's keeping the pressure on Jason. Jason not able to get away. Isaac thinking about looking low. And if he's going to look low, he's going to think about throwing a slider. He knows he needs to get back up there. Not going to be able to do it this time. And Alex Pomerleau loves what he's seeing. Now, he does not love that. He loved the green flag run. And they're racing behind him. Let's see who the culprit is here. I'm not too sure. I'm not getting much information. Let's see, this happened, but this was after the yellow flag came out. Let's take a look here. Oh, okay. We got this simultaneous there. Oh, wow! No! Oh, wow. Dylan Kinsey, we are going to have to... Wow. We're going to have to go back and look at that again. Let's ride on. Oh, nowhere to go. Oh, my gosh. The caution had not come out yet because the way he had spun, it was able to keep it straight. So that's one of those things where iRacing thinks like, oh, okay, we're good to go. Let's take a look at, and let's slow it down right here. Just nowhere to go. He's in the middle, 3 wide, just boom, and then it just starts the chain reaction. That's a tough break, and you know, all that could have been avoided if a caution comes out right away. Nothing really Jake could do. You know, he's a sitting duck with a damaged car. It's not like he wants to just be floating out there. He's hoping that the caution had already come out and that he doesn't have a full roaring pack coming at him. There's nothing he can really do on that. And that's what happens when the caution doesn't come out right away. So, you know, that's why in real life you see guys, any any spin or, I mean, basically any flip nowadays in any type of racing, it's automatic red flag. So guys will shut their cars off and come to a complete stop. Tough break for the guys behind the car who did the full 360. But we're almost halfway. Here's Alex Palmer, who's been your leader for all of it. All the cautions, all the green flag restarts. Here's another one to add to the list, and another good one. Jason Butterfield would really like to do a little better on these restarts. He had that one good one, and he was able to get by Isaac on that set there. As we have another caution flag here. Settle down, boys. Settle down. Let's see what happens here. Maybe Logan Wentz? We'll find out. Yeah, nothing Logan could do about that. Just Bob the Good came in a little too high. Let's go on board here. Yep, you see it there in slow-mo. Just gets in a little hot. Let me see if I can go back a little further. We'll just ride on board with him from the green flag here. He's going to start up a little higher, so he's going to have a bigger run here at the end of the straightaway. So he's making up a little bit of time. Just drives in a little harder than Logan does, and just almost the same thing we saw in lap number 1 with, I can't remember who was in the accident. Almost identical spins there. Just giving them a little tap when they're sideways in the middle of the corner, and that's all it takes. I believe the caution light should be out this time by. If you're out there watching, let us know if how you're surviving through this, who you're rooting for. 'Cause, we all know all the cautions can be a little annoying, but these guys they'll push through it, and we'll get a green flag run in here, I'm sure. But if not, we'll definitely be treated to some great sprint car racing here tonight. All right, pace cars in the pits. Alex Pomerleau, he's only done this 10 or 15 times so far, so should be pretty good at it by now. Another good restart. Isaac Salas all over Jason Butterfield for second. I'm going to say maybe he thinks about going down low, but Anthony Morano, the man behind him, he's going to do it. He's going to go from almost fourth to second in turn 1 and 2. Let's see if he can pull this off here on the bottom. Really starting to make it work. Thought about parking it on Butterfield, wasn't able to clear. But I think he limited their run enough coming out of 3 and 4 that he's been getting great runs on the bottom of 1 and 2. He's going to be able, he's got half a car on him. He's going to be able to really throw it in here. Not going to go, though. Going to keep it on the bottom. Isaac Salas is going to try to go down low and follow him by. Anthony Morano, your new second place position. And hardest charger. Oh, contact. Big contact. That's going to end up ruining Isaac Salas' race. That's a tough deal. Let's take a look. Well, we know Isaac was involved, so when we bring it back here, let's take a look, see what happens here. Go back a little further than this. May have brought us back too far, but you can't win them all. So Isaac, a little bit of contact. He's just going to have to jam the brakes up, and he gets clocked from behind. Looks like Bob the Good. And And both of them went around. Let's ride on board here with Bob McGoon. Let's see here. See him coming down. Not anytime. Like I say, you can't really jam the brakes up on these. His only move would have maybe been to goose it up a little bit and go the highway around, but you know, that's not really what you're thinking about. It's always easy to backseat drive right here, but not too much you can really do there to avoid that outcome. But I'll tell you who loves that outcome. Jeff Barker in the 513. He's up 10 positions as well with Anthony Morano. And he's up in 5th right now. Anthony Morano from 12th to 2nd. Barker from 15th to 5th. So both those guys up 10 spots, big runs, and obviously if you're going to go up 10 spots, you're going to have some people have some misfortunes. So the biggest loser right now looks like is going to be Alex Pomerleau or Isaac Salas. Just tough with, you know, the wrecks. It's not really anything any of them, or not Alex Pomerleau, he's up front. What am I doing? That's an error. Isaac Salas. Sorry, Alex. I knew you were up front. Getting old. But Isaac Salas, you saw getting in that wreck there. He's going to be down 15 spots. But he's got half a race here to make up some time. And I imagine Anthony Morano, he's looked real fast. He's going to have something to say to Alex before the end of this race as they're off.
Green flag, green flag.
Anthony Morano going down to the bottom. Nobody warned Alex that that's Anthony's fast line. That's what Anthony wants right now. I don't even think he's doing it out of necessity to pass. I think it's a little bit of both. I think we saw him work on the bottom earlier in the heats. He likes the bottom. He loves to roll the bottom, and he's going to give it his all to make it work here. Bad entry to turn 1 really cost him some time. Meanwhile, problem with the 088 at Trent Verstraeten. Off the pace going down the front stretch. He had to go a little bit lower. Not too sure what happened there, but a little bit of misfortune for him. Connor Ross up into your top 5, able to get by Jeff Barker last lap. Trying to go to work on the 93 of Jason Butterfield. Jason Butterfield was very fast to start this feature, but it just seems like cars maybe gone away from him, or he just staying too dedicated to a line that just isn't there right now. He was one of the fastest cars earlier, but just going away. Your last time by, the quickest car on track was the 107 of Samuel Bachman in 3rd place. But Anthony Morano faster than your leader, Alex Pomerleau, by 1/10.5. So the top 2 are really starting to go to work here or the top 3. They're coming up on the leader. Anthony Morano really trying to make it work. He needs a long green flag run. He needs some time to be able to work on Alex.
Yellow flag is out.
And commentator curse. As the caution is out. Yet again. At Williams Grove Speedway. Let's take a look here. Jake Henry, possibly. Take a look, he's going to be in that white and blue car in the back, so maybe he runs into something. Yeah, just contact in front of him. And going to turn Matt Schaefer. Not really anywhere. Matt just gets in the car in front of him, and then Matt gets kicked from behind. Typical car accident, basically. You know, that's just what happens. Bump, then you get in the brakes real quick or let off. The guy behind you doesn't react in time, and then you get bumped. So just a product of people lifting at different times and, you know, running different lines. That's going to happen. I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. But man in second place, Anthony Morano, he is not going to be a happy camper every time he tries to get a run on your leader, Alex Pomerleau. It just seems like he gets a caution to stick a fork in that run, but looks like the lights are off and Steve King pace car is pulling into pit road. Alex Pomerleau yet again will lead him to the green flag. Hopefully this is our last green flag start of the night here, as we'll have 6 to go as they come across the line here. Not a good start for Anthony Morano. Anthony Morano really needed a good start too, because with the way he's been running the bottom, with a good start, if he goes right in there behind Alex Pomerleau, he can almost clear him with the way he's running 1 and 2. But he's got pressure behind him in that 107 of Samuel Bachman. Very, very fast right now. Samuel Bachman really ripping the lip up top, but Anthony Morano trying to look low on your leader, Alex Pomerleau. Let's go to the Chapman Racing drone. He's got him clear. Alex got in the wall. He's going to go from 1st to 4th. Connor Ross even thinking about getting by here as we go into turn 1 with 4 to go. Your new leader, Anthony Morano, and Hard Charger up 11 spots from 12th to 1st here. He's got Samuel Bachman all over him. Samuel Bachman has been the fastest car on the track these last couple of runs, but will he have time to do anything to Anthony? 3 to go. Anthony Morano really hooking up on the bottom of 1 and 2. Samuel Bachman has moved down to follow him. But where they differ here is the entry into turn 3. Samuel Bachman really drives it off in hard and diamonds it off. Really carries a lot of speed here at the end of the front stretches. We're 2 to go. Gonna throw it in high, going into 1. We'll really try to carry speed, but it's just not gonna be as good as the bottom in 1 and 2 right now. Anthony Morano is running your preferred line, but all the speed he carries into turn 3, Samuel Bachman is all over the back of Anthony Morano here as we ride on board for your final lap. You hear him kiss the wall a little bit. That's going to hurt his chances for the lead. Anthony Morano, barring a big mistake, should be your feature winner here tonight. Anthony Morano coming out of 4, able to lead your last 4 laps after a mistake from your leader. And Anthony Morano in the 32 will be your winner, followed by Samuel Bachman in the 107, Jason Butterfield in the 93, Alex Pomerleau in the 397, Connor Ross rounding out the top 5 in the number 35, Dylan Kinsey in the 083, Kelly Wheeler in the 110, Logan Wentz in the 118, Gavin Chatham in the 99, and rounding out the top 10 tonight is going to be the 513 of Jeffrey Barker. But wow, what a comeback we saw from Anthony. Started way far back after really having a tough time in the heat race. Got stuck on the bottom, but you know, him running it in the heat race may have ended up helping it wear in for him that way in the feature. It was a great run for your top 3. Let's see, let's give them some time to come back up in the booth here. Let's see. Just let them hang out in the waiting room, or we will just be hanging out until we see some people pop up in the waiting room. But, man, we retreated to a heck of a race there. Tough break for Alex Pomerleau, able to lead most of the race, but just got into the wall and the entry of turn 3. You know, that's something actually we can, let's go back and let's take a look at that while we're killing time here. Let's go ahead and let's look at Alex Pomerleau. And let's ride in the blimp camp. Let's see what happened to him. He's coming out of turns 1 and 2, so he knows he's got him down there. He's going to try to drive it in off deep. Just got in the wall a little bit at the end of the straightaway, and I'm not sure, maybe bent the right rear, maybe it just drove up over the lip, but Anthony Morano able to really benefit from that tonight and never really look back. Let's see if we got any guys up in here in Discord now. So let's bring up Jason Butterfield, the 3rd place finisher tonight. Hey, Jason, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I sure do, boss.
Well, hey, man, it was a great race tonight, and you looked really, really fast at the beginning of the feature. You were running the fastest laps of the race, but do you think maybe the track just went away from you? Were you set up for something a little different, or tell us what happened?
I think that was all driver error right there. I kept on entering the corner wrong. I was doing good in the middle, but my entrance was screwing up my exit.
Yeah, this is we talked about it a little bit tonight during the broadcast, but this corner entry here is so pivotal and it's so hard because I mean we don't really race anywhere else like this. Tell us a little bit about how you try to angle the car in there and what your turning point is to get a good corner entry.
With me is what I just try to do. I try to go in and just kind of whip the car to get it to roll over onto the right side for me. Um, when I'm on the top, on the bottom's so hard to run here. You gotta, you know, get on binders so hard just to run the bottom and go so slow. It's real tough to run the bottom.
Yeah, it really is, man. But you did a great job ripping the lip tonight, and it showed with a podium finish. So congratulations. You got anybody you want to thank on the third place?
Oh, sure do. All the guys over at Venom, Dean with Super Dirt Car Series, Garofalo's Imports, Brewer and Brewer, Otter Creek Lawnscapes, and most importantly, my wife.
Yeah, man, can't ever forget to thank that one. Whenever I forget to thank my wife, I always hear about it. So good job getting that out of the way. But congrats, Jason, and hopefully we talk to you again next week.
Yep, thanks.
That's Jason Butterfield, your third place finisher. Let's bring up your number two place finisher in the 107, Samuel Bachman. Hey, Sam, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Well, it's going pretty good for me, but not as good as it is for you. You were real fast there at the end, and I noticed those last couple runs, you were the quickest car on the track. I think maybe you might have had something for Anthony, but you guys kept getting the caution flags. But talk to us a little bit about that. You were real quick.
Yeah, I had a really good car right off the get-go. I could get that top side the roll in, and I noticed Anthony could get the bottom rolling in, but I felt the top just a little bit faster in certain points of the race, and it kind of stuck with me for a little bit. And towards the end of that, like last 5 laps, it kind of started going away right when we got past Alex there, but it came up with a second. I guess I'll take that.
Do you think you could have had anything for him if you stayed green, or was well, another thing, we got to kind of give Anthony credit for. Did you want to run the bottom in one and two, or did he kind of just discover that on his own and made that faster? Did you prefer the high side?
I preferred the high side. It's more the gear I had was more better for it, and I'm just way better on the high side normally. Anthony's a bottom feeder. I mean, now he's always on the bottom, I've noticed.
Yeah, I talked about that a little during the race. He is kind of turning into a bottom feeder. He's really good at it. But congratulations, Sam, on the second place finish here. And you got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, all the boys over at FTM, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop, Dino with Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, and Coast to Coast for putting this on for us.
Well, hey, Sam, congratulations. And hopefully we see you back up here next week.
Thank you.
That's Samuel Bachman, your second place finisher. Let's bring up your winner here. Somebody who's this guy is no stranger to the podiums here in Coast to Coast. He's been winning a lot. Anthony, this is Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
What's going on, Shaggy?
Hey, man, you were fast tonight. You came out of nowhere. You were the hard charger. I don't know if you knew that or not. So slap those bonus points on. I think you maybe had the fastest lap. Slap those bonus points on. And you won the race. So you basically swept the show, man. Talk to us about it.
That was a whole lot of gear running the bottom and just doing whatever I could. I mean, struggled a little bit in 3 and 4 if I tried to run that rail, and then once I moved, I started moving up and sliding up to like the middle lane there, right above the slick, and was able to get a good bite there. And then that's pretty much where it all came down to. And then once I got out front, me and Sam were talking. He was saying, enter higher and cut down and get right above the slick as you exit forward. And that was definitely working good too. So I mean, appreciate that from Sam, and Dallin DeWard actually gave me this setup for tonight, and the thing was a rocket.
Yeah, we've seen him run before, so I imagine anything he's in, it definitely is not slow, that's for sure. And you showed that tonight. I talked a little bit to Sam. I'm guessing he's your teammate, but talked a little
Yeah.
bit to Sam, and he talked about, how he did not like the bottom in 1 and 2, but man, it was amazing. Yeah, on that one restart, you went from 4th to 2nd. I don't know if you paid attention to that or not, but the way you were hooking up on the bottom in 1 and 2, was that just all based on your gear?
I think so, and I think I'm pretty good here, and I usually do pretty good running the bottom, and I usually run a much higher gear than pretty much everybody else. Like like a lot of the guys in my Discord are running like 37s, 42s. I think Kinsey was running a 49, but yeah, like I said, I always run that higher gear because I know getting off the bottom is more important than anything else. So that's pretty much like I said, the car was rolling great. DJ did a great job on the setup, and thing was just launching out of tail every lap.
Well, Anthony, you definitely carried the momentum from Charity Week, and you got another win here on to start the week. Congratulations for that. You got anybody you want to thank on it?
I thank my wife Sherry, everybody over at Full Throttle Motorsports, DJ Sim Shop, Hi Mom Land, Super Dare Car Series, MDI TV. Again, all the guys at the shop here at FTM, they help us all out. We all work great together, and we get great setups into these cars, and it shows.
Well, Anthony, congratulations once again, and I imagine I'll be talking to you again one of these Monday nights, man. You've been on a roll. Congratulations.
All right, man. I hope so. Thanks a lot.
That's your winner, Anthony Morano in the 32 car. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. And I just realized, sorry, I'm a rookie. Now I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. We'll throw Scar on there after I interviewed him for a little bit. But we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back with the Rebel Sprint Car action here at Williams Grove. Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV. And don't leave us.
It's time for another edition of IRacing Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat. Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
And we are back here. I just realized that there's a driving on one for some reason. It wasn't on the last one. I don't know how that came on. So you're going to get a little bit of the insides here. We're going to turn that off. That's really weird, but that took one in between sessions. There we go. No harm, no foul right now. Connor Ross in third place with an 18:07 the last time around. Isaac Salas did just take the pole with that last lap of a 17:85. Next quickest Jack Clevenger with a 17:88. So he's already done his 2 laps. Let's go to Zach Neubauer. He's on lap number 2 here. Looking for a big improvement right now. He's 13th. Let's see what. He does get a big improvement. Going to move up to 8th. He ran an 18.31, and then he ran an 18.09. So big improvement for him. And that should do it. Looks like everybody's run times. Let's give you your top 5 here. Isaac Salas, Jack Clevenger, Connor Ross, Gavin Chatham, and Jack Hitt. They're going to be your top 5 here. Let's go ahead and see if we can. There we go. Back live. All right, let's give you your heat number 1 starting grid, brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Quality racing bodies produced by former NASCAR regional short track champion Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. No relation to me, but Dan, if you want to hook me up with a race car, that would be freaking awesome. Let's give off your starting grid here. Right now, looks like Gavin Chatham's starting on the pole. Ty and Ulibarri did not make the grid, so Gavin Chatham's going to be your pole sitter in the 99. On the outside, Anthony Morano, followed by Isaac Salas on the inside. Side of row number 2, Greg Parmalee, and rounding out the field, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Talon Ulibarri did not make the grid. Stinks for him. But the man who does all
Green,
that is
green.
Gavin Chatham in the 99. Going to move him up to the new pole sitter. He needs a great jump. Able to easily clear the 32 by Anthony Morano. Anthony Morano, your feature winner in the 358s the last race. He normally doesn't grace us with his presence in the sprint cars. He runs them every now and then, but he'll be the first to tell you they aren't his forte. And for something that's not his forte, he finishes in the top 5 in them quite often. So it's very impressive driving, something that he's uncomfortable with. But he's got the guy with the fastest lap of the evening, Isaac Salas, behind him looking to get by. You know, C2C, we do invert the field to top 4, so that's why you see Isaac starting in the 4th position. Brandon Dittmer, meanwhile, in 4th place, not having a lot of luck. Car looks very unstable, very loose. Talon was able to pull out of the pits. He is going to get some practice laps in, but basically all for naught after missing the grid. That's really going to put a damper on his night. It's going to be tough to come from the back here, but you saw Anthony 12th to 1st in that last feature. It can be done, but the sprint cars are a different beast. You got to keep them clean. As Gavin Chatham's really walking away, has the fastest lap of the race by almost 0.3 of a second with the 17.89. Next fastest is 18.13 from Anthony Morano. Gavin is really having his own. And right there, Gavin, fastest lap of the race, 17.13. Not really any battles anywhere. Isaac Salas kind of getting gapped here, just comfortably sitting in 3rd. Big gap to Brandon Dittmer in 4th, who's in the fence. And Greg Parmalee not able to really make up any time on Brandon to see if that car is damaged. But it's okay. He's just going to have to take it easy for these last 2 laps here. As Gavin Chatham comes out of turn 4, he's looking to take the white flag this time by. Gavin Chatham really letting it hang loose up top, going to try and experiment a line. He knows he's got nothing to lose. There's a big gap behind him, going to move to the bottom. Try something on the bottom. And he's going to hook up, and he's going to be your heat race winner number 1. He's going to start on the feature for the pole, followed by Anthony Morano, Isaac Salas, and Brandon Dittmer. Gavin Chatham in the 99. Going to easily win this race tonight. Maybe not the full race, but easily going to win heat race number 1. All right, heat race number 2 brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Full Throttle Motorsports, not just your average iRacing team. Full Throttle Motorsports has members that range from 18 to 57 years old from Minnesota to New York. Full Throttle Motorsports prides itself on being clean and competitive, and also hosts very successful 358 and big block league events. Using setups from Gunnar Swanchara and Swan Speed Shop, it's Full Throttle Motorsports to the front. Let's read off the starting grid for heat number 2. Greg Boydell starting on pole. Outside of him, Zach Neubauer in the 52. Jack Hitt in the 217 starting in 3rd. Outside of him, Jack Clevenger in the 78. Rounding out the field in 5th, Trent Verstraeten. On the outside of him, Steve Maurer in the 888. Let's go ahead and take a look here. This should be a pretty interesting heat. Once again, your fastest guys get, the top 4 get inverted. So you're starting in 4th. Right now it's because Jack qualified 2nd. So he's looking to really get on it and try to go up there and make a move. But he's got 3 other guys in front of him that want to win just as bad as he does. So he's really got to go. And with these things, it's got to make passes before everybody gets up to speed. If somebody has a bad start, you got to make them pay for it here as Greg Boydell gets ready to lead them off here for your green flag. Heat race number 2.
Green flag, green flag.
A great start from Greg Boydell, able to jump up in front of Zach Neubauer. Zach Neubauer thinks about fighting back on the top, almost gets into the wall coming out of 2, but has a big run, but Greg Boydell shuts the door going into turn 3. Meanwhile, contact back in the field. Trent Verstraeten in the inside wall. Not able to keep it going. He's going to go in the pits. Boydell, meanwhile, just trying to walk away out front. But Jack Clevenger, big run. In the middle of 1 and 2, and Greg gets loose. Jack Clevenger, your new race leader, going from 4th to 1st. Meanwhile, Greg Boydell. Oh, wow. Greg Boydell. You saw that. Wrecked, went over the edge somehow. Man, tough break. Jack Clevenger loves this. He's already up front as we're not even halfway here. Just now took lap 4 of 8. There are only 3 cars left on this track, so if Trent's out there, he may want to pull back on the track if he was able to use that quick repair to get some spots back, because they'll mean everything here in the feature. But Jack Clevenger just able to pretty much run wherever he wants, can experiment a little bit. Zach, this isn't anything to, knock on Zach, but Zach clearly isn't as fast as Jack right now. And Jack was able to go from 4th to the lead in 3 laps. He can use this time to experiment a little bit. So in that last race, just try different lines. Don't drive in too hard and get the car sideways, as you don't want to wreck yourself. But if you want to experiment with something and you end up going a little too slow on the bottom, it's no big deal. You got a big gap, and now's the time to do it. Two to go. Still only 3 cars out here on the track. Steve Maurer back in 3rd place. Let's see. Not too far behind. I mean, if something happened with these leaders, he could easily be there for it. But I think Jack's just going to be smart, run the bottom, not do anything too aggressive. Make sure he can get this car to a starting spot, because there's nothing wrong with starting 2nd in the feature. And that's where Jack Clevenger is going to be starting here as he wins heat race number 2, followed by Zach Neubauer, Steve Maurer, and Greg Boydell. Back out on the track, so he's going to finish in 4th and get that extra 3 starting spots for the feature from where he was. That's why you do that. Let's go ahead and read off the starting lineup for heat race number 3, which is brought to you by Top Notch Trucking out of Glen Ridge Motorsports Park, your Sunday night home for the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds, also showcasing Dirt Car Sportsman, Dirt Car Pro Stocks, and new for 2024, the Rush Late models. The Dirt Car 358 series will make a visit to the Ridge once again in 2024. Last year, 47 358 Modifieds filled the pits with the likes of Stuart Friesen, Matt Williamson, Mike Mahaney, Billy Dunn, Felix Waugh, Lance Willix, and so many others. You can visit GlenRidgeEMP.com or visit their Facebook page. Let's give you the starting grid here for heat number 3. Gary Offit starting on the pole in the 94. Outside of him, the 47 of Steven Stewart. On the inside of row number 2, Brad Wade in the 814. On the outside of him, the 35 of Connor Ross. Rounding out the field, the number 70 of Mike Kramer. Go ahead. It should be going green this time by... Maybe not. Nope. We didn't send the pit. The Steve King pace truck decided to do one more lap out there, I guess. He's having a lot of fun. He was used to driving a lot there in the last race, so he probably just, lost track of what he was doing and, like I say, just enjoying himself too much and went for that extra pace lap there. But he'll pull off this time. I imagine they're on the radio yelling at him, telling him, get the heck off the track, we're ready to roll. But should be a pretty exciting heat race number 3 here. And then after this, we'll go into a little break here for warm-ups, and we'll bring you 30 laps from Williams Grove Speedway here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. But right now, the Steve King pace truck is off. And Gary Offit is looking to lead the field here to the green flag for heat number 3.
Green flag, green flag.
Good start for Gary Offit. Going to be able to do whatever he wants here. If he wants to slide up or hold the bottom. He's going to move up to the middle, which opens the bottom up for Brad Waite. Oh, Gary Offit contact with Steven Stewart. Going to get Connor Rowe. Able to keep going. Able to keep going. Not able to keep going. Not able to keep going. Well, we caught the end of that. But tough break there for Connor Ross. It's going to put a hamper on his night, or a damper on his night, and he's going to have to really come through the field here if he wants to do anything in the future. But It's deja vu, ladies and gentlemen, down to 3 cars again. They're kind of in their own area codes. So we are going to do something we normally don't do. Let's go back and let's take a look at this accident here. Let's see what happened. We're going to see Gary Offit come up the track. Steven's there. Steven tries to go up, nowhere to go. Connor's going to run into Steven. And Mike Cramner gets into him with nowhere to go. And Connor Ross is going to land on all fours. Try to keep going. But as we saw, the front end was broken. Brad Waite, still your leader up front. I don't know why that says replay up top. We are live, I promise you. I have to fix this after, but lap 5. Gonna bug me, gotta fix it now. There we go, got her back on. For some reason it didn't think we were live when we were. But Brad Waite's gonna be your winner here. Heat number 3, followed by Gary Offit. And rounding out the top 3, Mike Cramner of the last cars. Connor Ross. Oh, you saw that Connor Ross and Steven Stewart both able to make it out of the pits, and you saw the battle back to the line. Oh, wow. I think this may be the end of the race for them. Okay, because they weren't a lap down, so they were battling for position there. Oh, it's Connor Ross. Maybe a little bit disgusted with himself, but we're gonna take a quick break here, and we will be back with feature action here at the Williams Grove Speedway in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. We're back live here. 30 seconds left in warm-ups as you're following Gavin Chatham, your fastest car on the track right now with an 18:49. Second place right now is Brad Waite with a 15:53. And Zach Newman as well is going to be a top 3. But don't sleep on this man, the guy who just won the feature. In the 3:58s, he's your third fastest time. Anthony Morano, you know how to run the bottom, and I think the bottom may come in at the end like the last time. So we'll have to see. A lot of these guys are down there running the bottom, trying it out, maybe experimenting with gears, but we'll have to see here. somebody's in the fence. They didn't like that. But let's go ahead and let's hit you here with your RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, the 99 of Gavin Chatham. On the outside, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Inside of row number 2, the 814 of Brad Wade. Outside, the 32 of Anthony Morano. Inside of row number 3, the 52 of Zach Neubauer. Outside, the 94 of Gary Offit. Inside of row number 4, the 5 car of Isaac Salas. Outside, the 888 of Steve Maurer. Inside of row number 5, the 70 of Mike Cramner. On the outside, the 83 of Brandon Dittmer. Starting on the inside of row number 6, the 014 of G.J. Boydell. On the outside, the 47 of Steven Stewart. The inside of row number 7, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. On the outside, the 217 of Jack Hitt. On the inside of row number 8, we have the 35 of Connor Ross, who it looks like did not grid. So possibly rounding out the field will be Trent Verstraeten. It looks like he will probably move up into Connor's spot as Connor did not grid. So. Well, for my pick here tonight, it's going to be a tough race to pick. You saw a lot of things can happen, but I think Jack Clevenger, he's been real fast lately, and look for him maybe to carry that success over here at Williams Grove. I wouldn't be surprised if 78 car Jack Clevenger ends up walking away with a W tonight, but we'll find out here in 30 laps. Is the Steve King pace truck's going to go around here one more time as we get ready for the Lucy Olson green flag. Lucy Olson, star basketball player for Villanova, who kindly has helped sponsor the league in so many different ways than one. Her father, Roland, races with us, so it's an honor to have her as being a part of the league and helping support her father and all of our racing endeavors. It's definitely a lot of fun for us. But here, as we go down the back stretch, we'll see the pace truck pull off in the middle of 3 and 4, and Gavin Chatham will lead us to the Lucy Olson green flag. Take a look here. Let's watch this start here.
Green flag,
we're waiting
green
for the
flag.
green flag. Gavin Chatham looks to get a good start as we go in the blimp cam. Let's watch up front. We're going to see a lot of action as we see contact at the top of the screen. Cars go around. See Steven Stewart and Brandon Dittmer is what I'm seeing. We saw it live. I've had a feeling, so I went to the blimp camera. Let's take a look here. Let's ride on board with Steven Stewart. Stewart nowhere to go. Brandon Dittmer was already around in front of him, it looked like. Let's go back and take a look at this. Any indication of why maybe Brandon was sideways? Oh, car came up in front of him. He had a big run, no time to check up, and that's tough. I mean, that stuff's going to happen out here racing. Not too sure who it came up, but I'm not sure it matters now. Let's take one more look. Stephen Maurer, it looks like. They just got a little sideways there in the middle. Brandon got a big run, no time to check up, and we have a caution out. Alright, for some reason it's still telling me we're on replay, so you got to see the behind the scenes in iRacing again. I'm sorry about the mess ups tonight, but I promise we'll get her going. Yeah, not too sure. It doesn't like it sometimes when I click to go back live, and it still says we're on replay, but we'll see. We're not here as I think the lights should be getting ready to go off, I believe. The double file restart. So lights are off. Gavin, your leader, chose the bottom. And we'll have to see here. We're going to go back to the Chapman Racing drone cam here again. We're going to see if we can catch all the action going into turn 1. I know it's not the best zoomed view, but going to be a lot of checkups and people swerving this way, that way, going into turn 1, and we don't want to miss any of it here. As the green flag's out, great start for Gavin Chatham, easily can clear. Go back through the field, they're 3-4 wide, contact on the bottom, still some contact, but they're able to keep it going. Jack Clevenger trying to hunt down Gavin Chatham, your leader. Looks really fast there in the middle of 1 and 2. Not having to go the whole way around, and the car's still planted. But Brad Wade is thinking about sticking his nose in there. He's back there in 3rd place. Got a big run on Jack. Gavin Chatham is going to go down and protect the bottom in 1 and 2. It's going to allow Jack Clevenger to get a big run here as we enter turn 3. Gavin Chatham committed to that bottom there, but now he moved back up in front. We have a caution. Talon Wulabari possibly? Let's take a look. So Talon's going to be in the 19 car, that green car right there. Let's see what happens. Oh, Greg Boydell just gets sideways in front of him and nowhere for Talon to go. Let's right on board here. See, Greg comes out of nowhere and with the tail tap, he gets all out of sorts, and that's enough to bring the caution out. I may have to reset SDK at the end of this race, ladies and gentlemen, for the next one, because it does not want to go back to live for me and throw the grid up without me clicking that button. So technical difficulties tonight. I'm sorry about that, but the replays don't want to behave with me, so you may see my graphics cut out for a second. I'm going to restart this here, but they didn't cut out. They're refreshing right now, so we'll see. Hopefully that ends our problems.
Caution, yellow flag.
All right, let's try and take a look at this one now. Sorry, having a technical difficulties. Let's take a look. Steve Maurer. So now he's in that red and white car. Just has to lift off the gas, and it's a lot of help from behind, and he's going to roll over here. Let's see if we go live. There we go. Just had to restart it. Nice. That's how you pump up a broadcaster. May have had a night full of cautions, but you get my software working, I'm a happy man. But not as happy as Gavin Chatham right now. He's very happy to be out front. Maybe wants to get some green flag laps going so he can establish a little bit of momentum, but he's able to pick and choose where he wants to be on these double file restarts, which, you know, puts the guys behind him at a disadvantage. So he's going to take advantage of these while he can, and hopefully, you know, he's hoping to get a big jump and they can stay green, but only time will tell here. The Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off, and we're set for restart number 3 here as Gavin Chatham gets a great jump, able to move up the track once again in front of Jack Clevenger. Gavin Chatham, big run,
Yellow
carrying a lot of
flag is
steam,
out.
and we're under caution yet again. Let's see what we got here. I think I'm seeing Brandon Dittmer possibly. Let's take a look at what happened to the spider monkey. He's going to come up, maybe got in the wall a little bit, got into someone, and that was all she wrote there. That's all we needed. Let's ride on board with Brandon and see if we can get a better view possibly of what happened. This gets a little squirrely on exit. Didn't actually hit anything. Just got into, I think it was Greg Boydell there as he floated up on exit when he got sideways. But tough break. Luckily for Boydell, it didn't cost him anything. Maybe some incident points, but we have to fight another day as it didn't look like he got any damage on that 014. Well, lots and lots and lots of cautions tonight. Drivers definitely got to get the memo that can't enter in real hard when you're behind a guy. You got to adjust your line accordingly to the guy in front of you. It's a real tough track, and kind of seeing it play out in front of your eyes. A lot of mistakes can happen here. You get racy with a guy and getting the gas too hard coming out, and you straighten up so fast coming out of the corners that if you throttle up too much and get sideways, it's just you're going to wipe out the guy beside you, or you got a good chance of getting run over from behind, because like I said earlier, this is such a momentum-based track that nobody wants to really back out of the throttle when they feel they don't have to. That's why you're seeing guys give it all they can here. As we're coming back for restart number 4, I believe. Gavin Chatham going to lead them to the line again, choosing the bottom. He's been able to get a lot of good restarts. Let's go on board the Chapman Racing drone. Here's the Steve King pace truck is off. Gavin with not as good of a restart as he's been having, able to still clear, but not really able to gap Jack Clevenger like he had been. Jack with a good restart there. Going to be all over Gavin if Gavin makes a mistake here going into turn 3. Gavin Chatham leads the Hornet's Nest out of turn 4 here. So we're coming on to lap number 9. And have 21 to go.
Caution, yellow flag.
There's another caution is out yet again. Looking like the 014 of Greg Boydell possibly. Let's check this out. He's in that white, or the red sprint car there. Looking like 3 wide. 3 wide is tough to do at Williams Grove. Barely any contact, and I mean that's kind of a racing deal. He didn't try to throw a slide or anything. He tried to hold his line there in the middle. We'll go back and watch that again. Watch it from the blink this time. Didn't look really too aggressive. Maybe Greg not knowing that they were 3 wide. You know, I think if you know you're 3 wide, you're not going to pinch that guy in the middle as hard. But he's definitely just a little out of sorts and got caught up top, and that's going to put a damper on his night. Meanwhile, 2 cars did come down in the pits. Connor Ross and Greg Boydell came in for quick repairs, so they'll join the tail end of the field. Still plenty of time left for them to make their way through the field. Hopefully we're done having cautions, but I imagine that other people still suffer some misfortune, so it's all about survival at this point. If you're out there watching, I know I don't do a great job of checking the C2C chat when I tell you to tell us who's winning, but I've got so many different screens up and only 2 monitors. I try to keep up with all of it, but I do check it in between races, and I appreciate you guys letting us know who's out there. Let us know who you're rooting for right now. I'd have to say with the way the race is looking, Gavin's got to be your favorite right now, as we can't get a lot of green flag laps in, and he's been very fast. But Jack Clevenger would really like a long green flag run to try to go do something, and Anthony Morano, out of nowhere, snuck his way back up into the top 3 again. So don't sleep on that guy. He's hungry for another feature win here tonight, and we've seen him sweep the night before on a Monday night. As the Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off, Gavin Chatham gonna fire coming out of 4.
Green
Able to get a much better start than he did last time. Get a huge gap on Jack Clevenger, and Anthony Morano is gonna sucker that car down to the bottom. You heard his teammate said he's become quite the bottom feeder. He's gonna try it out, but nothing doing right now. Is Isaac Salas looking for 3rd place? Isaac Salas trying to make that bottom line working. Not able to float up and carry momentum off. This is going to lose another spot. It looks like to Brad Wade. He gets it back in the middle of the corner, but just all that straightaway speed. Another caution is out. Oh, I'm going to have nightmares of these cautions tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So we can go back and see what happened here. Possibly Brandon Dittmer. Just went in there, got a little too low, tried to turn to keep it off the tires, and saw he was going to hit someone and turned it back. Either locked up the brakes or spun it around, did the right thing to not involve anybody else. Let's get a better view here. Not sure when that was. There we go. Yeah, you see, you just maybe turned in a little too early and tried to keep it off of him, did the right thing. Tough break for Brandon. Still not at the halfway point. We've seen a lot of carnage. So the guys need to settle down, keep an eye on those incident points, make sure they're behaving themselves, and make sure they have a car at the end to even have a chance to win, because we've got a lot of racing left. Steve King Foundation pace truck has its lights off, should be pulling in here in the middle of turn 3 and 4, and Gavin Chatham will lead him to your green flag here once again for your Rebels feature here. Gonna have 19 laps to go.
Green, green, green.
Great start for Anthony Morano, able to really be on the back of Gavin. If we get another quick caution here, he beat Jack Clevenger to the line. Going to see Anthony Morano didn't even think about floating it up. That's really going to cost him coming out of 4th. He's going to give second back to Jack Clevenger. Jack Clevenger and Gavin Chatham really letting it eat up top. That seems to be the fast way around, but Anthony Morano trying to prevail on the bottom with Isaac Salas. Isaac Salas seems to be one of the quicker cars on the track right now, and he's doing it on the bottom. Faster than your leader and faster than 2nd place last time around. Looks to be a little faster than Anthony Morano as well. He's really trying to will his way past him. Anthony Morano going to go up top where he hasn't been as comfortable. He's going to, as you see, he slaps the right rear off the wall. He's been running the bottom. You know, it's tough to adjust your line, and when you're in the middle of racing, when you got guys going 100 mile an hour beside you, you get put somewhere you're uncomfortable, and Isaac Salas was able to get by here for 3rd place. your hard charger right now, though. The 94, Gary Offit up 6 spots, up to 6th place, just trying to work his way up into the top 5. But Brad Waite and Anthony Morano are battling hard for that 4th and 5th position. That's what Gary Offit loves to see. Really able to make up time on those guys as they're running side by side. We have another caution. All the racing too good to be true. Trent Verstraeten. Oh, somebody had already spun. Oh, that wreck had already way happened. Let's see if we can go back a little further than that. Oh yeah, so the contact started there with Offit and Trent. Let's see if we can go back maybe even a little further. And I said Offit, I think I meant Greg Parmalee. But let's see here. I did mean Greg Parmalee, it was Greg in the 4. You see they're running side by side here. Now they're 3 wide. And Trent just comes up, maybe not knowing they're 3 wide, and loses the right front. You'll see he goes straight into the wall here, nowhere to go, and he's got to jump to the pits. No way to get that thing off the wall. Back up front, though, Gavin Chatham. Just to see, I can't tell who iRacing is giving 3rd to. I think Isaac Salas did beat Morano to the line, possibly. Yeah, you're seeing him look down there on the bottom. He is in 3rd, so Isaac is going to have to try to turn it on here. He knows he's running out of time, and with all these cautions, you don't know when you're going to get a chance at the pass again. So if he gets an opening on the bottom where he's been fast, look for that 5 car to go for it. You know, as someone who's been really fast here, let's ride on board with him here. Let's do something real here quick, because I don't have this on my thing. Let's actually run cockpit with him for just a lap here while we restart.
Green flag, green flag.
See, Isaac, this is what it looks like from the driver's perspective. Really shutting it down. Getting it down there. We're about to see he tries to get a big run on Jack Clevenger, but nobody home. But that's a perfect. Oh, the front 2 contact. Jack Clevenger gets into Gavin, and oh, heck breaks loose. We're gonna have to go back and take a look at this, but we saw it happen. Not sure who the caution is gonna be blamed for. If one of them are gonna have to fall back to the back, only time will tell. But tough break. Let's go with Jack Clevenger here. Keep this. TV1. We're going to keep it in slow motion here just to take a look and see what happens. We're going to go on the blimp. You see Jack, he made up a lot of room here, so looks like maybe, yeah, Gavin just entered a little bit higher, got a little loose, didn't get as good of a run on the bottom as he normally gets, and Jack just couldn't react, and as you see that, I mean, it starts mayhem. Gavin Chatham turns around. Clevenger gets hit there. Brad Waite. Anthony Morano on the bottom goes around. Jack hit in the back. You're seeing his green number. He gets caught up in that, so that ruins a bunch of race cars. That's a tough deal, but that's what happens when you're racing for the front. You see Gavin Chatham is going to be unluckily credited with that caution, and he had to drop to the back. So tough break for Gavin Chatham. That's really going to put a damper on his chances at winning. But you see a guy who, wow, out of nowhere, back up to 4th place after we saw 2 cautions ago. Him and Greg Boydell came in for a quick repair, and this man is up to P4. do not sleep on Daddy's Money Connor Ross. He's a teammate of mine, and he knows how to wheel him and deal him. And that kid has just snuck up back into the top 5, and he might have something to say about this win before this race is over with. But only time will tell here. When we get the green flag, we'll have 12 to go, so plenty of time for some green flag action, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of stuff happen in these last 12 laps here and in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, here at Williams Grove Speedway. The Steve King pace truck is off. Jack Clevenger, anxious to see if he has a little bit of damage. He was involved in that. He got into Gavin a little bit, but it looks like the car is straight. He got a good jump, and Isaac Salas is going to follow him off into turn 1 here. Connor Ross, meanwhile, up to 3rd now. Daddy's Money. He's really slinging it up there on the high side. Going to try to get a big run out of 4. Going to clear him at the line. He's going to hold 3rd. The top 2, though, running their own line. Nobody really faster than the other. Isaac Salas just mirroring everything Jack Clevenger does, just trying to stay as close as he can. So he's making up a little bit of time. Made up a 10th.5 on that last lap. Connor Ross not really able to make up any ground in 3rd place as you're seeing all the action up front here. Let's take a look at Talon here trying to make a pass for 5th. He's in 6th right now. It's Connor Ross there on the bottom of the exit of 2. Talon's maybe thinking about trying to follow Connor down there. He's going to go in there, throw it in. Going to get sideways in the middle of the corner. It's Gary Offit still going to be able to hold on to your 5th position. Gary Offit up 7 spots. He is your biggest mover. Let's go back to the front. Jack Clevenger able to still maintain that half a second lead as Isaac Salas tries to be as smooth as he can, reeling him in. Those two really letting it eat on the high side of 1 and 2. It seems to be the quick way around for those guys. A little difference of lines here. Isaac goes way to the bottom. I think that's what Clevenger wanted to do. That was how Clevenger hooked up when he got in the back of Gavin. As you see, Isaac is all over him. Isaac is making up a lot of time on the bottom of 3 and 4. Clevenger's really going to slow it down and take that line away from Isaac. He knows if he can't be as fast as Isaac at it, he's got to get him off his groove. And he did enough there to get him sideways coming out of 4, and he increased the gap a little bit. Back to 5th place. Anthony Morano back up there after being involved in your last caution, raced his way up there. Gary Offit fell back to 8th. He was your hard charger, new hard charger, Steven Stewart in 4th place, up 5 spots, trying to hunt down Connor Ross there for your final podium position. But all eyes are up front right now as we come out of 4. We'll get the 3 to go this time by. Any mistake from Jack Clevenger, and Isaac Salas is there to make him pay for it. Going to run the same line here in 1 and 2. Isaac is going to look to maybe diamond off. No, he's going to stay behind him. Isaac Salas, big run in the middle of 3 and 4. Able to pull up aside, a little bit of contact here as we get 2 to go. Isaac Salas throwing the slider on Jack Clevenger. Clevenger looking for the crossover, able to clear him as we go into 3 here with 2 to go. Coming out of 4, we're going to look to get the white flag lap. Isaac Salas, big run on Jack Clevenger. Little contact in the outside wall. Jack Clevenger able to maintain his speed coming out of 4, even with the contact, able to increase the gap on Isaac Salas. It may be enough to hold on to this feature win here. Jack Clevenger going on the bottom of 3 and 4. Trying on contact up front. Contact. Isaac throws it in there. Jack Clevenger pulls back up the track in front of... Oh, Connor Ross is going to steal it. Connor Ross is going to steal this win with all the mayhem on the last lap. Contact between 1st and 2nd. Isaac Salas drives in a little deep. Wow, Connor Ross steals the win with Steven Stewart, your hard charger, coming home in 2nd. Gavin Chatham in the 99 coming home in 3rd. Talon Olabare 4th. And Brad Waite rounding out the top 5. Wow, what an exciting finish. We are going to have to 100% go back and look at that one. Man, let's just go back. Let's take a look at this white flag lap here. Let's go in the blimp cam. We all saw it. We know what happened. Isaac got in the wall there. Trying to make up time here. Big run in 1 and 2. It's as close to that wall as you can, and he really sends it in here. On the bottom, hooks up. Clevenger gets a little sideways in the slick, and it was just enough to initiate the contact. And when Clevenger comes back up the track, more contact, and it's tough. Tough break for Jack. Definitely not what he was looking for tonight, but it's a big win for Connor Ross, who, as we showed earlier, was in the pits at one point in time and got that quick repair, and that's why you never give up. Perfect example here, but let's go ahead and pull up your third place finisher here in Gavin Chatham. Gavin, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Hey, Zach. How's it going, man?
Holy crap, what a last lap, man. What did it look like for you coming through turn 3 and 4?
Chaos. That's what it looked like. Complete chaos. No, you're going down the straightaway. You're going in the corner, and it was a good race there between Anthony and I believe Steven. I think they're racing for that last transfer spot, and I thought I might have a shot going into 3 and 4, trying to hug the bottom there, and then all of a sudden I seen 2 cars sideways, and I just checked up, and luckily we were able to squeak through there to pick up third.
Well, man, that was a lot of fun racing, and I mean, the 2 up front, Isaac and Jack, they seem to have a little league of their own, but I know you don't want to, I'm not trying to get you into any trouble here, but you were pretty quick, too, before that contact, and it's really cool to see you get back on the podium. Well-deserved, man. You got anybody you want to thank on the third place?
No, yeah, it was a good run for us. Unfortunately, some circumstances didn't work out, and it is what it is. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm not happy about it, but that's racing. It's gonna be you're not gonna be happy about some things. So we definitely had a car that was able to win that race and capable to win. So shout out to this team, Chatham Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity Race Design, Miller Time Motorsports, and Northeast Outlaw Motorsports. Thanks to all sponsors, all the support. Shout out to Anthony Miranda there too. He was running a heck of a race with me there. Definitely coming up through the field. That deal didn't work out for him at the end either there. But shout out to him for a good run. And thank you guys, thank Coast to Coast and everybody behind the scenes, all the sponsors, everybody who puts on this league and lets us come out here and race and have fun. Gosh, who am I forgetting? Fans, all the fans that come out and watch the races too. I hope we put on a good show. Regardless, I hope that was an exciting show for everybody, and I just want to thank my fans too for coming out and supporting.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, all the cautions a little dull there in the beginning, but boy, did that finish make up for it. So congratulations, Gavin, on sneaking back into the podium, man. You deserve it. You were real fast tonight.
All right, thank you, Zach. Yeah, it was a good. Once we started getting racing there, Williams Grove can be fun. It's very technical, and it was definitely getting fun there. And it was fun. It was kind of nerve wracking coming up through the field there, but it was definitely fun. It was some good racing there from everybody.
Yep, had to earn it tonight, man. Congratulations.
All right.
That's Gavin Chatham, your third place finisher. Let's bring up your second place finisher and hard charger. He's your hard charger tonight as well. Steven Stewart, man, you got a copy? This is Zach in the booth.
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Well, hey, man, I asked Gavin. I kind of know what happened. I brought the replay up. I'm not sure if you had a good view of it. But what was that like driving through that mayhem there in turn 3 and 4 on the last lap?
Oh, man, I just Morano, he had just got me in 1 and 2 there on with the white flag in the air, and I was just looking to make a pass on him. And as we came into 3, I had him set up all right, and I thought maybe if I could make it happen fast enough, I might be able to, not clip off, but clear Connor too, and maybe get a twofer. And as we came into 3, I saw just 2 cars sitting backwards, no yellow flags. So I was like, all right, back out of the throttle. I had somehow weaved through them, and like I told Connor, man, I thought I had it won. I looked forward, I just saw the checkers, and then Connor just singing by on the outside. But yeah, that was wild. Definitely, I didn't expect the race to end like that. Isaac and Jack were moving, and so was Gavin.
Yeah, that was a heck of a finish, man. But like I said, I don't know if you heard, you did get the hard charger as well, so that's another 5 bonus points for you. That's a good night for you. But you got anybody you want to thank on the second place finish here?
Yeah, just like to thank Exoskins, Docs Racing, the boys that helped me out with the setups that I've got with them, and just my family for putting up with me for an hour and a half to do these races every Monday, and you guys putting on great streams. The whole Coast to Coast crew. I don't know, Roger. There's so many of them. Jack, everyone that does everything. Thanks to them, it's been an awesome time racing here. I'm looking for that win.
Well, hey, man, with runs like this, they're going to come. You looked fast tonight, and you made your way up through the field, no problem. So congratulations on that second place finish, man. And you going to run the next race since you transferred?
Thanks, dude. And I don't know. All my whole family's sick, so I might just go lay down and watch some TV. I would usually take it up. I made it in my first night ever racing with them, and it was a good time. I don't know, not really feeling it tonight. Arms are kind of sore.
We've all been there, man. But congratulations, and hopefully we see you again next week.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
That's Steven Stewart in the 47, your second place finisher. But let's bring him up, man. Let's bring up Daddy's Money, the kid who, I mean, we're watching it right now live in the slow motion. The kid who just came out of nowhere to steal the win on the high side at the end. Tell us a little bit about that finish, Connor.
It all started, the beginning of the race was a total crap show. Had an incident in my heat, and then even before the feature, I was messing around with my setup and missed the grid, so I started dead last, and I just knew I had to keep it clean. It's a tight track, long but tight track, so you gotta gotta keep your nose clean. And that's just what I did, and I had to stay out of it. Got into it once or twice, but I stayed out of it enough where I kept my nose clean and just knew that if I was there at the end with those two running 1-2 and as hard as they were, anything could happen, and it sure did.
Yeah, no kidding, man. You put yourself in the right place at the right time. I did notice I caught you on the broadcast. You had to go in the pits there with Greg Boydell. Did you have to go in and use a quick repair at one point in time?
Yes, yeah, I did use it. I was gonna. It was 50-50. I didn't know if I had damage or not. The car felt a bit off, but we had so many cautions before that I wasn't sure if that's just how the car felt, and I wasn't used to it. But I went in. I said, we're only 10 laps in. Might as well get it done with now, and I'm not gonna beat my head against the wall if I stayed out and there was damage. So no, I did the smart thing, went in and took a fast repair.
Well, hey, man, congratulations. I talked to you earlier. You've been sick as hell all day. You sound it, so I won't make you talk all night. But congratulations on the win, and go ahead and give us your shout-outs here real quick.
I got to shout out everyone from Gambler, and I actually got strep throat. I went to the doctor's just before this, so I got strep throat, so it's hard for me to talk. But Burger Bar, Petro Plus, Ace One Construction, Pesky Penguin, Coast to Coast, and everyone else. Thank you.
Well,
Congratulations.
congratulations.
And you for putting on the broadcast, too. You do an amazing job, Zach.
I appreciate it, bud. And congratulations. And I know you're not feeling good, but are you going to run the A race?
Oh, yeah. I'm working on this setup right now.
All right, man. Well, get your butt back up here, and hopefully I can talk to you again.
Thank you.
That's Daddy's Money in the 35. Your feature winner here in your Renegade or in your Rebels action. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back live with 35 laps at Williams Grove for your Renegades action. So stick with us and don't go anywhere.
It's time for another edition of IRacing Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Alrighty, we're back here live for the Renegades action. So I took this gig on short notice. I normally race in this series, so I didn't really think about this till now, but I don't believe we're going to be able to watch the other cars qualify because I registered as a driver in this session just to receive some points for a last place finish rather than get 0 for a no-show, but I didn't really think of the repercussions of that until right now. I think it may have me just like, sit there. But if it does that, I don't even have a setup for tonight. I just load up my Port Royal setup for last week and possibly just give you guys a slow lap around here, just what we're looking for if I can't follow anybody in practice. Or I mean in qualifying. No problem following people in practice, obviously. I'll show you what we're looking at here. Right on board right now, Brennan Lacey. He's number 4 on the time charts. Practice is over here. Let's see if it lets me watch anyone. I've got a feeling it's not going to let me watch anyone. Yeah, it's going to misbehave. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here. We'll just throw a setup in here to see what I got here. What we'll do is we'll go out here and you'll get to take a look here. Not going to be able to talk while I'm doing this too well. I'm gonna try here. See, this is the view they get around here. We're not going to run a full bore qualifying lap. Got my hand on my keyboard trying to talk. Talking with one. Driving with one hand here, but you'll see they're going to go out there. They'll get a little bit of sideways. It's all about getting throttle control here. Coming down the corner, they're going to really want to. You heard them talking about binding it up. It's hard to do with one hand, but you're going to want to slow it down if you run the bottom. You're going to want to get even lower than what I just did. You definitely don't want to run that high up if you're looking to get the bottom. But I imagine you're going to see a lot of guys, if we could watch it, run in the top here. But we'll see as we go on into heat race number 1 where the guys are at. You can just see a little bit of a feeling. We're going to try something different. We'll shut her down here, and we'll really slow her down, and we're going to get 2 sideways on entry. We see how slick the track is there, and that's going to be 2 laps here at Williams Grove. Obviously, they're going to want to be a lot faster than that, as you see right now. I'm 17th quickest. You get to look at what the drivers look at. We can look at their exact times here. Right now, Blake Chapman's going to be on the pole. Jesse Atkinson's going to be in 2nd. And Kyle Moonan's going to round out be 3rd. Stephen Goldner 4th. And Brennan Lacey's going to round out the top 5 here. So let's go ahead and let's get back to behave broadcaster mode. So let's give you the starting lineup here for heat race number 1, brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies, quality racing bodies produced by former NASCAR regional short track champion Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Your pole sitter for heat race number 1, Tyler Wilson on the outside, the 49 of Jesse Bandy. The inside of row number 2, the 30 of Stephen Goldner. On the outside of him, the 20 of Blake Chapman. The inside of row number 3, the 99 of Gavin Chatham. Outside of him, the 91 of Kyle Sargent. Rounding out the field in the 161 of Terry Landis. And on the outside is the 7 of Mr. Bob DeGood. Still waiting on the top 2 here to grid up. We've got a little bit of time. I don't think the top 2 are going to want to not grid. They are, or no, they aren't teammates. Tyler Wilson and Jesse Bandy are not teammates. Tyler Wilson, the macho man, he teammates with Patrick Spangler. Hopefully he makes this grid. He is not going to want to miss this grid, that's for sure. He makes the call with a couple seconds left here as we're going to have a full field of 8. see, we saw lots of action happen in the other heats. People make mistakes, get up too high against that wall. We saw the last race, it went a real long time, which always means that the guys in this room were practicing for much longer. That's why you see the track as wore out as it is. You just got this. These guys have gotten hundreds of laps on this track, you know, before even basically the broadcast came up at this track. So I mean, it's beat up. It's a totally different track than we saw last race, and guys are going to have to adjust. Here's we see the leader, Tyler Wilson, maybe lagged out for a second. Hopefully that gets under control here as he's blinking as we're getting ready to go green. That's never fun to be behind that if you're Stephen Goldner. It's kind of probably putting him in a panic.
Green flag, green flag.
Here's the green flag. We're off for heat race number 1. Lucy Olson, green flag. Here we go. Tyler Wilson able to clear Jesse Bandy and take over the lead spot here. Seeing Blake Chapman down there on the bottom, the popcorn man. He really knows how to run down there. As you see, he's moving up beside Bandy for second. He knows Bandy's one of his toughest competitors. Got to get by him now here in the heat. Put all those starting spots between you and him in the feature. And now Blake's stuck on the bottom as Stephen Goldner looks to go by on the outside of Blake Chapman. Really hooking it up there, but gets sideways in the middle of 3 and 4. Able to let Blake get back in line. Stephen really running that high side in 1 and 2, higher than anybody else. And it's paying off with straightaway speed. It looks like, you know, he's lost all that time there in the middle of the corner, but on exit, he's just runs him back down like he's in a rocket ship. As Blake Chapman looks for second on Jesse Bandy, able to beat him to the line. Not able to clear him, though, on the exit of 2 is Tyler Wilson lagging on the bottom. That is not what you want to see if you are in 2nd and 3rd right now. All over the back of Tyler Wilson. We're halfway. Blake Chapman finally able to slide up in front of Jesse. Gonna move up, going down the backstretch. It's Tyler Wilson's spotty in and out. It's gonna be real tough to deal with. I imagine race control is on the horn talking to him. Blake Chapman was your leader there at the line. Blake Chapman's gonna look to clear Tyler Wilson here. Gonna throw it in there. It's a great run off the bottom, and we have a new leader with 2 to go, Blake Chapman. The battle is on for second, though. Tyler Wilson keeps having lag spikes, keeps disconnecting, going in and out. Jesse Bandy doing a good job of keeping off of him. He may be getting fed up with it as he slides up a little bit. White flag, 1 to go. Jesse Bandy trying his best to clear Tyler Wilson as Blake Chapman's got the win under control. Bandy able to get that car in front of Tyler Wilson. Not going to slide up once the run off the bottom of the corner. And he's going to be your 2nd place finisher. Your winner is going to be Blake Chapman, Jesse Bandy, Tyler Wilson, Stephen Goldner, and rounding out the top 5, Kyle Sargent. Let's go ahead and roll into heat race number 2, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Not just your average racing team. Full Throttle Motorsports has members that range from 18 to 57 years old, from Minnesota to New York. FTM prides itself on clean and competitive racing, and also hosts very successful 358 and big block league events. Using setups from Gunnar Swanchara and Swan Speed Shop, it's FTM to the front. Your starting lineup is going to be Jeff Barker starting on the pole outside, the 270 of Chad Griggs. On the inside of row number 2, the 114 of Brennan Lacey. On the outside of Brennan is going to be the 127 of Jesse Atkinson. Inside of row number 3, Connor Ross. And on the outside, Preston Cramner. Rounding out the field, and in the inside of row number 4, Barry Goldner. On the outside, Gary Taylor. Steve King Pace Truck should be pulling off here as the drivers get set to roll to the green flag. Jeff Barker's going to lead us to the Lucy Olson green flag restart here. looking to get as good of a run as he can on the bottom so he can go up and clear Chad Griggs. Chad Griggs, no stranger to this league. Very fast anytime he comes around. So they're going to be looking to get ahead of that guy as soon as they can. Chad's looking to really hook it up on the outside, trying to get that big run. But Jeff Barker's not letting him go anywhere. He's going to stay to the inside. Jeff Barker, though, if he wants to run that bottom, he's got to get a little bit of lower. He's running kind of where I messed up in qualifying. You don't want to get stuck in no man's lane. You got to put it right on the bottom where Blake Chapman was. You want that left rear right in attack. Chad Griggs loving what he's seeing behind him all this racing. He just gets to walk away out here out front. As the battle right now is on for third place between Brennan Lacey and Jeff Barker. Brennan Lacey, the car on the outside. Oh, really shuts the door on Barker going into turn one. Trying to run the middle. Barker does a good job of getting on the binders and holding pace. Jesse Atkinson trying to diamond out of 3 and 4 to get a run on your leader, Chad Griggs, as he's going to throw it into turn one with a slider. Chad Griggs looking for the crossover. Able to clear him by the end of the backstretch. Is he going to go up and park it in front of Jesse? Jesse's going to look to diamond off again. Chad kept it on the bottom. He knew what Jesse was going to try to do. Is he's going to go in here and keep it in the middle, not going to shut the door. Jesse's going to get a big run, and this may be what he needs to take over the lead. Chad Griggs throwing it in there, but Jesse's going to cross over. He's loved that crossover line in 3 and 4, and he's going to take over the lead at the line here with 3 to go. Chad's going to throw it in real hard into turn 1 and 2. We're going to try to get a run back on him. Just not going to get enough speed going in, but really closing up on him in the middle of 3 and 4 as we're coming by 2 to go this time. Meanwhile, Connor Ross must have gotten some trouble. He had to pull off track. I see him in the pits. He's 1 lap down now. So tough break for your feature winner of the B race there, your Rebels race, as we're coming down white flag. Chad throwing everything he can, but Jesse Atkinson, he is on rails right now in the middle of 1 and 2. Final time through 3 and 4, heat race number 2. Jesse Atkinson looking to get a big run off the bottom. He is going to be your winner in heat race number 2, followed by Chad Griggs, Brennan Lacey, Jeff Barker, Barry Goldner, Gary Taylor, and Preston Cramner. Preston Cramner still coming out of 4. He may have been in that misfortune with Connor because he was back there always. He's going to round out your field here for feature number 2. So we're going to ignore me. Well, I guess we'll get to me, actually. We'll just read it off because that'll be who we're waiting on. But so, heat race number 3 here, brought to you by Top Notch Trucking, Glenridge Motorsports Park, your Sunday night home for the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds, also showcasing Dirt Car Sportsman, Dirt Car Pro Stocks, and new for 2024, the Rush Late models. The Dirt Car 358 series will make a visit to the Ridge once again in 2024. Last year, 47 358 Modifieds filled the pits with the likes of Stuart Friesen, Matt Williamson, Mike Mahaney, Billy Dunn, Felix Waugh, Lance Willix, and so many others. You can visit glenridgemp.com or their Facebook page. All right, so your starting lineup for heat number 3, starting on the pole, Keith Jackson in the 113. On the outside, Brian Dickens. Inside of row number 2, the 05 of Donovan Ross, and the outside, the 24 of Kyle Moonen. Row number 3, John Short on the inside, and I was supposed to grid up on the outside, but I'm your man in the booth tonight, so we'll see 6 not grid. And rounding out the field is going to be the 11 of Chad Cote. So they're going to be sitting here for a little bit. Or I guess I took long enough. Right when I got done, they're going to start to go. But waiting for me to grid. That was the extend there. But should have a good race here. It looks like Keith Jackson maybe had a penalty. He's moving to the back. Got an EOL. So he's going to change our starting grid here a little bit. That's going to move Devo up to the front spot as he was lucky enough to be in 3rd, so that'll move him up a row. Devo's always quick, so that puts him in the spot to be, I think. Here There's the Steve King pace trucks off here for the Lucy Olson green flag.
Green flag, green flag.
And they're off. Donovan Ross looks to get a good jump. He did on Brian Dickens. He easily able to move up. John Short now trying to make work of Brian Dickens on the bottom, trying to get a big run coming out of 2. Gonna look, but now Kyle Moonan's able to get on the high side of John Short. But battle for the lead. Brian Dickens able to go by on the bottom in 3 and 4. We're 3 wide for second place. Almost 4 wide coming out of 2. Brian Dickens loves what he sees in the mirror if he's got it on. These guys battling hard. 3 wide again for second place. All over the place. So much action on the track right now here for second. Donovan Ross trying to get it back. Trying to go high on Kyle Moonen. Big run. Gets in the wall. Clips Kyle Moonen. Comes back in front of John Short, and that's going to ruin 2 cars. Donovan Ross upside down. John Short trying to pull in the pits is stuck. That's going to be a tough break for Shorty. Not really anywhere he could go, just caught up in somebody else's mistake. Brian Dickens, meanwhile, loves it as he's got almost the second gap now on Kyle Moonen. Or does have a second gap, 1.4 seconds. So Brian Dickens is just trying to hold on, keep this thing straight. Keith Jackson was able to survive through all that and get a lot of the spots back. So not as hurt from that heat EOL as he was earlier, but definitely would have liked to have not received that penalty as he would have been able to be out front. But still nothing wrong with third here. Coming out of turn 4 here. Brian Dickens getting the 2 to go. Got a big lead on second place Kyle Moonen out to 1.8 seconds. He's got plenty of time to experiment, can try whatever he wants. Kyle Moonen is really nowhere to be found. And Keith Jackson is kind of in his own battle for third, but as I say that, he messes up a little bit. And Chad Cote is able to get a little closer to him. We'll watch this. It's really the only battle on track as Brian Dickens is going to be here. Heat race number 3 winner. Big lead. Kyle Moonen, though. What happened there on the last lap? Not too sure what happened to Kyle Moonen. Tough break for Kyle. I'll lose a spot there, but we're going to go to warm-ups here. Take a quick break here for warm-up, and we'll be back with you for 35 laps here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania at the Williams Grove Speedway. Don't go anywhere. You're seeing sights and hearing sounds from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania here at Williams Grove Speedway. Got 15 seconds left here in warm-ups, and then we'll hit with the RSN trackside starting lineup, but we should be in for one heck of a treat here. I imagine we'll see some cautions. We always do at Williams Grove, but be patient, and maybe we'll be treated to another exciting finish like at the end of the Rebel Series feature, where Connor Ross was able to go from third to first and turn 3 and 4 on the last lap to take home the victory. But alrighty, so for your RSN trackside starting lineup, let's give you the order here. Starting in first, the 20 car, the salesman, Blake Chapman. Sorry, I rhymed it with my name, Blake. Starting on the outside of him, the 127 of Jesse Atkinson. The inside of row number 2, the 122 of Brian Dickens. On the outside of him, the 49 of Jesse Bandy. Starting inside of row number 3, the 113 of Keith Jackson. On the outside of him, the 042 Macho Man Tyler Wilson. Starting on the inside of row number 4, the 114 of Brennan Lacey. On the outside, his teammate, the 24, Kyle Moonen. Their other teammate also got 3 of them in a row here, Bandy built. We got Stephen Goldner starting in 9th in the inside of row number 5. Outside, Jeff Barker in the 513. Inside of row number 6, we have the 11 of Chad Cote. Outside, the 91 of Kyle Sargent. Inside of row number 7, the 36 of Barry Goldner. Outside, 51 of John Short. Inside of row number 8, the 99 of Gavin Chatham. On the outside, the 34 of Gary Taylor. Inside of row number 9, the 05 of Donovan Ross. Outside, the 161 of Terry Landis. Inside of row number 9, the 07 of Preston Cramner. On the outside, the 7 of Bob DeGood. And rounding out the field is the 35 of Connor Ross. Connor Ross slow to get away, back in the back. Well, this is going to be an exciting race, and I don't want to jinx him. I like Blake a lot, but I'm going to pick him for this win. He likes the bottom feed, and I think the bottom is going to come in at the end, and he knows how to protect it better than anyone. Blake is very fast, but don't sleep on Jesse Atkinson. He's been very quick, and there are a lot of guys got to move their way up through the field tonight that I wouldn't be too shocked if maybe Gavin Chatham, if he could survive through some of the mayhem. If he gets up into the top 5 for the night's over, he's starting 16th. And you just got to watch out for guys like that. It's any man's pick, but I think the smart pick right now, and definitely the favorite, is Blake Chapman. They're in the 20. The lights are off, though, on the Steve King Foundation pace truck, and you see we still have Tyler Wilson blinking in and out a little bit on the outside up top. Hopefully that calms down in the feature. We saw it happening in the heat race, and that didn't cause any chaos, but boy was it close as the front 3 were racing real hard. And if you're fast and competitive, you definitely don't want to have a car that's blinking. Right on board here we'll go. We'll actually go to the blimp cam. Here's where the Lucy Olson green flag, the pace truck's off, and Blake Chapman is set to lead him here to your green flag. Jesse Atkinson with a great jump on the outside. Actually, great exit for Jesse Atkinson as he's going to take over the lead from Blake Chapman. For now, anyway, as Blake Chapman looks down to the bottom again, 3 and 4, but we do have a new leader at the line. Jesse Atkinson's going to lead lap number 1. All sorts of racing back here throughout the field. 3 wide coming out of 2. It looks like 8th or 9th place as Keith Jackson trying to make it work on the bottom. We're having a battle for the lead, though. Blake Chapman is looking low on your leader, Jesse Atkinson. Really making that bottom work, shutting it down, going real slow, keeping it straight. You see he can really punch it off corner exit. You see he's got all that tack, and we have a new leader here, lap number 3. Blake Chapman really making the bottom prevail in 1 and 2. That's where he's been fast. Okay over here in 3 and 4, not as much room on exit, but really making it work on the bottom of 1 and 4, or 1 and 2, as you see Atkinson making the high side work on the exit of 4, really coming back at Blake. Good run through the middle of 1 and 2 as Jesse Atkinson and Blake swap positions back and forth going down the backstretch. You're seeing Blake just take a lot of care of that right rear tire, though, riding around the bottom nice and slow. But I think you're going to see Blake have to start to move up soon as he sees how fast Jesse is. Doesn't want to let him get away. Well, I've been holding in number 6 this whole time instead of my push-to-talk button, so whenever you guys haven't heard me, I'm so sorry. I've been commentating to myself, holding the wrong button, as we've had a heck of a battle up here in the lead. Blake Chapman keeps looking on the bottom, just not really able to get that big run, but he is saving that right rear tire right now, which could come into play, especially, you know, knock on whatever you got in front of you. But right now we've been straight green flag. This is the most we've seen, so we are going to see a little bit more tire wear than in the last race. Brian Dickens, though, he's coming out of nowhere. He's been the fastest car on track the last couple times by. We're in a 1914 this last lap, his fastest lap of the race. Brian Dickens all over Blake Chapman for that second place position now. Able to really put it in the middle of the slick there and just get good bite on the exit. A lot of people struggle, but Brian Dickens has been able to get a lot of speed out of that slick in the middle of 3 and 4. As Blake Chapman thinks about going up and shutting the door, but there's no room. Brian Dickens thought about the crossover, but just no room. Blake did a good job of holding that bottom middle groove, not really allowing anyone to cross under him. Brian looks to the top again, just not any room. Blake shuts the door, he's got to get out of it. Right now this is your battle on track. The second place, Blake Chapman and Brian Dickens. Battling real hard. Kyle Moonen, now your new hard charger. He's up 4 spots, up to 4th. Kyle Moonen is coming into our picture. Not really anywhere for Kyle to go, though, if he does come up on these guys. As both lines are taken right now, it's real tough to get the middle going here at Williams Grove. It funnels all out to the middle high side on exit, so you don't want to be stuck in the middle 3 wide here. He's really hoping that somebody in front of him makes a mistake so he can pick them off one at a time. He doesn't want to have to go into this pack of hornets in front of him. Jesse Atkins. Oh, contact! Brian Dickens gets sideways, comes down and gets into Blake Chapman. Blake able to recover, but Kyle Moonen, your big winner, carries all momentum around Brian Dickens and Blake Chapman. Up 6 spots now to P2. Blake's not going to be happy about that one, but it's definitely not intentional by Brian, just a product of Williams Grove, and Brian now is really struggling. Back to 6th place. Now Keith Jackson goes by, moves him back to 7th place. And they aren't done yet, as Mr. Goldner says, I'm going by too. Goes the short slider and goes right on by. Back up front, Jesse Atkinson trying to keep that gap between him and Kyle Moonen, but something that we see all the time here at Williams Grove on Saturday nights, or I mean on Friday nights here. Oh wait, no, Saturday nights we do run at the Grove. Fridays mostly Lincoln. I believe we run most of the Saturday up here in Mechanicsburg. So call it Saturday. We see it a lot. Lap traffic here at this train track, and Jesse Atkinson is coming up on it quick. This is going to be a show, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to see him pick his way through lap traffic with 2 of the best this league has to offer right behind him in Kyle Moonen and Blake Chapman, as he's coming up on lap traffic in about 2 or 3 laps here, maybe even quicker. Jesse Atkinson trying to look low as the lapper looks to get out of the way, but you got to be careful lifting and getting out of the way because you got two guys racing behind you in Blake Chapman and Kyle Moonen. They were 3 wide for a little bit with that lap car. Oh, boy. Kyle Moonen's got to send it in there to get by John Rayner or Gary Taylor. Really had to go plant it in there to get by Gary Taylor. Didn't want to lose a spot to Blake Chapman. He knows Blake's all over him. It's the front 3 able to get through the first group of lap cars, no problem. But Jesse Atkinson now coming up on Terry Landis. Terry's going to get out of the way. This is one of his favorite tracks. You know, grew up not too far away from here too, hometown. So good on Terry pulling out of the way. I know that's not easy to do. As you know, he wants to put on a show here on his track. Lets the guys up front be able to race and got a big gap. Lap cars may not be a problem again here if we stay green. Blake Chapman trying to make a move on Kyle Moonen, just not able to get it done. Your leader, he's running 19.2s. Kyle Moonen 19.26, a little slower. Last time by Blake Chapman with a 19.31. So these guys not running their preferred lines. It's definitely slowing them down, allowing Jesse Atkinson to walk away. But last time by, as I say that, Jesse a little slower, 19.59. Kyle Moonen with a 19.35, able to really close down the gap as here they come. Gonna have 9 to go. As Kyle Moonen really letting it rip in 1 and 2. Gonna get a big run down the backstretch as he comes up on Jesse Atkinson. This is the battle for the lead. We saw last race mayhem erupt on the last lap. Could we see it again as we're coming down? With 8 to go here. Kyle Moonen looking on Jesse Atkinson all over the tail tank. Blake Chapman trying to make the bottom work. Is Barry Goldner. Caution, no. So I ran into some technical difficulties. Going to go back and we'll get a look now at this crash. Let's go. So we kind of saw it happen live. Barry Goldner looks like he gets a little bit loose here. He lets Blake Chapman go by. Just maybe gasses it up too much. Yeah, loses it all by himself coming out of 4. It's a shame. We were green flagged the whole time, and it looked like we were about to have an amazing race up front, but this is going to restack up the field. We'll get a single file restart here, and could be any man's game now. Really opens the door for Steven Goldner there in 4th place. He has a chance now. He was definitely out of it if it stayed green. Too much of a gap to make up in those little bit of laps, but unless there was contact between the front couple. But it's still really, this will change what the race looks like, and I'm sure it'll affect the finish on paper, so don't go anywhere. We're being for an exciting 6-lap finish here. Still can't believe I clicked the wrong push to talk button. I was clicking the number 6 instead of my plus sign, so hopefully I wasn't too quiet there, because that was a real exciting in the beginning, and man, I was screaming my butt off at some of those passes. So hopefully didn't miss too much of it, but at least you got to hear the roars of the motor and see it. But definitely didn't mean to let you down there, but hopefully we'll make it up for you. Like I say, we're going to have 6 to go when they get the green flag. Steve King pace truck should be off this time by. And Jesse Atkinson pretty much has dominated this race from the beginning. Was able to pass Blake pretty early. They went back and forth a little bit, but since then hasn't looked back as Blake's trying to take second back on Kyle Moonen, but Kyle Moonen really wants this win here as they're off.
Green flag, green flag.
Pretty good restart from the guys in second and third. Didn't really let Jesse pull away too much as Kyle Moonen right back to the high side where he was comfortable. Gonna really let it rip, and he made up a lot of time. Jesse's gonna move back up top. Gonna get a little sideways on exit, but able to really throttle, pull away as Blake Chapman now looked like maybe had second place at the line. As he's gonna fight Kyle Moonen hard for second place. Kyle Moonen, though, really running it in there, trying to go as hard as he can. Blake Chapman trying to get by running on the bottom, but it just doesn't seem like that's the preferred line as Stephen Goldner is able to get a run here coming out of 2, but not able to pull up beside Blake. This is the corner where it seems like if you really hook up on the high side and do it right, you make up a lot of time. No, Blake hooks it up on the bottom. Blake's figuring it out. He's getting in the brakes hard. You see it a little squirrely. It's tough to run that bottom here, but he's got to make something happen down there if he wants to get up to Jesse Atkinson. We're coming out of turn 4. We'll get 2 to go this time by. Kyle Moonen really sending it in there. Going to try to get a big run, throwing that slider line almost. Trying to float up in the middle of the corner, but not able to make up a bunch of ground on Jesse. We're going to be coming to the white flag this time by here in Mechanicsburg, PA. Oh, caution right before. We're going to get a green-white checkered. That was right before the leaders were about to cross the start-finish line. Seeing Brian Dickens, maybe? Let's take a look at this. Brian Dickens right there in the 122. Oh, he just clipped that wall. Nowhere for Terry Landis to go. And holy crap, what a save, Brian. Man, if iRacing doesn't work out, you got a future in ice skating, because I'll tell you what, even the Russian judge would have gave that a 10. Let's watch this again. Let's watch it from the blimp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full 360s. Wow. And then he was able to still keep it going. Heck of a ride there. Well, that set us up for a green, white, checkered finish here. I know some dirt, like, there, they would have just ran a green checkered. They would have went white checkered. But we had the extra lap here on dirt, so those guys better hope that they don't run out of fuel. We went green for a long time, not a lot of caution laps, so if anybody went real close on gas, this could get a little scary for them. Might see people running as low as they can here under caution, really letting out of the gas, going down the straightaway, trying to save as much as they can because, I mean, we don't want it to happen, but if we have another quick accident here, we'll go another green, white checkered, so that'll add another lap on. But Kyle Moonen really needs the best start of his C2CRL career if he wants to do anything with Jesse Atkinson, because they're almost running identical lines, and Kyle's got to find a way around him, got to find a way to get a big run here coming out of turn 2 before Jesse's really up to speed and try to maybe throw a slider into 3 and 4 here as the Steve King pace truck's off, and Jesse Atkinson's going to fire here. It's a good restart for Kyle Moonen. It looks like possibly now just a 2-car battle. Blake a little slow on that restart. Kyle's going to throw it up there, and he is going to get the run. We have a new leader, Kyle Moonen. Jesse Atkinson. Oh, no. You got to think he's running down there on the bottom. Did he get in the fence? Is he out of gas? He's going so slow. You got to think he's out of gas. Kyle Moonen out front, meanwhile. Should be his barring haymaker from Blake Chapman is Kyle Moonen. Going to get a run out of turn 4. Is going to win tonight's Renegade race in Mechanicsburg, PA at Williams Grove Speedway. Followed by Blake Chapman, Stephen Goldner, Jesse Bandy, and Brendan Lacey, rounding out the top 5. Rest of your top 10 here real quick. Keith Jackson, Jeff Barker, Tyler Wilson, Chad Cote, and Donovan Ross rounding out 10th. What a finish. Tough break for Jesse Atkinson. I almost called that. A lot of these guys bank on some cautions. That last race was caution heavy. Didn't have enough gas to make it to the end, it looks like. That is gonna be a real butt kicker for him. He's definitely not gonna be very happy with that. But you know, that's the way it goes sometimes, and can't win them all. And sometimes it's worth the extra bit of weight for that extra gallon or two of gas. But you saw, and really hurt him here tonight. Is we'll give the top 3 a minute to get their butts up into the waiting room here, and we'll interview Stephen Goldner when he gets up here. He's going to finish 3rd place. Ran into a 3rd place finish. All right, we're going to pull up Stephen Goldner, your 3rd place finisher. Stephen Goldner, Zach in the booth. Man, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Jack. It's Zach.
Oh, dude, you're all good. I get called Jack every time I call a telemarketer calls me. I'm used to it. But man, dude, you were real quick tonight. It seemed like you were stuck in the back early. You know, I mean, you know as well as I do. Real hard to pass here. Kind of one fast line, but you were able to survive. And it seemed like that caution came out at the end. It kind of helped you. You know, was able to help you get on the podium. Talk a little bit about the race.
Yeah, the car was real good. It took a little while to get in. If I find when the track gets slicker, we get a heck of a lot better at shows with you know, the majority of the Vanderbilt guys run top 5 tonight. But yeah, the track was tricky. It took me about 15 laps to actually figure it out before I started passing cars. I ran 9th for at least 10 laps, it felt like, or more. And car really came in at the end. We had to roll the bottom there with the last 2 laps just because of fuel. But yeah, I wish I had a little bit more fuel because I might have been able to get Blake there running the top. But yeah, it just sucks. You know, not going with enough fuel. I made that same mistake earlier in the matinee, and I did it again here.
Yeah, you know, I kind of touched on that a little bit when we got the green-white checkered. I said it might be an issue because, you know, as much as we don't like to admit it, I mean, how many times do you run at Williams Grove with 2 cautions? You know what I mean? You kind of expect the cautions to save you a little bit of gas, and I think Jesse Atkinson, he didn't even finish in the top 10. I think he ran out of gas, so he was another culprit of the gas game. But man, you held it in there, and you got a 3rd place tonight. So who you want to thank on it?
Yeah, I gotta thank all the guys at Vanderbilt. You know, they told me what setup to run, and ultimately that definitely helped me run 3rd tonight because I was out in left field trying to find something that worked. I think the Ross Burnett Velocity Race Designs fits perfect photography, Luna Racing Engines, you guys for the broadcast, Dylan Westbrook Racing for the title sponsor for Renegades, Roger and everyone with C2C, and all the people watching.
Well, congrats, Steven. You're a name that's quite frequent on the podium, and you had to work for it tonight, man, but you earned it. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Zach. Hopefully we're talking to you next week.
Sounds good, man. That's Stephen Goldner, your 3rd place finisher. Let's bring up your 2nd place finisher, the salesman, Blake Chapman. Blake Chapman, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Well, hey, dude, pretty exciting race tonight. I imagine you didn't expect it to go green flag like that in the beginning because I know you have a quick car. I'm sure you were running the bottom just to save that right rear up, but whenever you were running a little slow, I can't remember who got into you, but you know, it may have cost you a chance tonight at the win, but you had a good race. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, I think it just came down to I made some adjustments to the car before the race that I probably shouldn't have. And yeah, I had to run that middle more than I wanted to at the start because, like you said, I wanted to run that bottom, but I had to go to the middle because it was just quicker. And I think that where the right rear out a little too much. Towards the end, I was just trying to hold on to it really, but yeah, just feel for Jesse there. If that last caution doesn't come out, he probably wins the race, and he ran a really, really good race. So it's just tough to see something like that happen. But he's just got to take chances when he can, and I was just doing that, running the bottom as well as I could tonight.
Yeah, dude. Were you paying attention during the race? Where I know obviously all of us expect some cautions here at Williams Grove, but were you running the bottom out of necessity? Did you have to, or did you have plenty of gas?
Well, I figured I had enough to run that bottom and middle if we had a couple cautions. So I looked after we ran about 20 laps of just green flag, and I'm like, oh, I better check to make sure I got plenty of fuel. And I saw that I did. So then from there on out, it was just running my race, not worrying about fuel too much.
Well, Blake, you're a class act, man. Congratulations on your second place finish. Let's hit us with the sponsors here, bud.
Yeah, first I got to thank the family for watching and supporting. I got to thank all the guys at the Krite Sim Racing team and the Can-Am Racing team. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at A&J Custom Creations. And of course, I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They got some of the best stuff out there. And don't forget to use code CART at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. And I got to thank you for putting this on tonight, Zach. You did a good job.
Hey, appreciate it, Blake, and it's an honor to talk to you, man. I'm sure you'll be up here again next Mondays. It's a frequent spot for you, bud.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, man.
Congratulations, Blake Chapman, your second place finisher. Let's bring up your winner here, the man tonight. Kind of stole it at the end, but he was there. He was quick up top. Kyle, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Where was that? Fucking Eldora or something.
I think he doesn't know his mic's on. Kyle, you got a copy? Yo, Kyle,
Hold
Zach
on
in the
a
booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, what's up, man? Hey, congratulations on the win here tonight. I think Jesse, obviously, it looked like maybe had some fuel troubles, but you were quick. You were all over him all night, and I think if he wouldn't have had fuel trouble, you would have gave him a heck of a run. You really sent it in there on turn 1 and 2 on that final restart. Talk to us a little bit about it.
Yeah, that's where I would have had to have gotten them. We were running the same line pretty much in 3 and 4, and I could gain some on him still, but not enough to pass him. I was kind of hoping to get up, beside him coming out of 1 and 2. Through 3 and 4, but I think he ran. Did he run out of fuel or something there? So
Yeah, it seemed like it because he finished 12th. So, yeah, I imagine it looked like it was sputtering on that last lap. I didn't want to get away from you there at the end, but clicking at it, it looked like, yeah, he was sputtering. He ran out of gas. But were you close on gas?
No, I still had, I think, 2 laps left. I think what it said. So I mean, I was close, but not quite what everyone else was. So that worked out good. And I should probably, thank Goldner for that one, because I couldn't really run him down, at all. I could stay with him, and then he was like, dude, let it slide up to the cushion out of 1 and 2, and that's when I when I really started running them down. So
It's neat you say that because I actually mentioned that on the broadcast. So it's cool that Goldner told you that because, yeah, you were driving in a lot harder in the entrance of turn 1, and you were really floating up, there in the middle of 2 and using that cushion. And it seemed like that is definitely where you were making the time up on him. But, dude, congratulations on your win. And not to take the spotlight off you, but what, Vanderbilt, 4 in the top 5. So nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, exactly. It was a good night for all of us. We really didn't think it was going to be that good of a night, so worked out.
Well, it's always a good surprise when you luck into a win here at the Grove. It's not an easy track to win at, so congratulations, Kyle, and give us the rundown of the thanks for the sponsors here, bud.
Just all the guys at Vanderbilt and Ross Crenna at Velocity Race Design, you guys for the broadcast, and everyone that helps put on the league.
Well, thanks, Kyle. Honor having you race with us. You're a hell of a driver, and as they showed, can't sleep on you. Even if you're in second with 2 to go, you know how to get there at the end. So congratulations, and hopefully we talk to you again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Zach.
No problem, Kyle. That's your winner here, and that's gonna do it for us tonight. We had a lot of good hard racing tonight. Pretty crazy. We were treated to some amazing finishes. Real tough break for Jesse Atkinson. He led most of the race. For him to lose it at the end, that's tough, but it is what it is, and sometimes you got to play the fuel game, and he lost. Went for the advantage with less weight, and like I say, made him pay. But tomorrow night, you'll have to come back and join us. We'll be at Volusia for, what are we running? Oh, wait, no, tomorrow night, excuse me, that's our night off. So Wednesday night, come back with us. We'll be 305s at Lernerville, 360s at Lernerville, midgets at Lernerville, and then we'll start off the NASCAR trail season, which will run the full year of the NASCAR pickup trucks. We'll kick off at Daytona. It'll be Wednesday night, going 50 laps, so that'll be a lot of fun. Make sure and join us. And next week, for the sprint cars and the dirt mods, we'll be at Limaland, so back at a bull ring next week. If anybody's mad or upset with anything, they'll definitely get their chances to pay them back tomorrow night. But thanks for joining us here. I'm Zach Chapman on Shaggy TV, and we're here live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and I appreciate you for joining us tonight. Thank you, and have a good evening.